welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings with me, your host, Lawrence, or as many of you guys call me, Punk with Toys. Oh, there's so many different things I guess that people can call me, but we can't say some of those things right at the beginning because they might get me demonetized. So anyway, how is everyone's weekend going, or how did everyone's weekend go? I hope a lot of people had a long holiday weekend. I know I was off today. I've done absolutely nothing all weekend. I've worked on the show. I spent a lot of time in front of here, especially as much as you've seen all the videos that I've been pushing out. And there'll be another one coming out tomorrow, and I think you guys are all going to be very interested in that, at least the people that live in the U.S., and we'll get into that in a second. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. To start off, I do want to give a shout out. I don't know what's going on with him, so there's no need to ask. But Articulated Chad, it's Chad. I'm not sure what's going on. He said he's going to be stopping everything social media-wise, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. But if it's something personal or anything, I just want to give him, hey, you know what? Everyone's thinking about you. Everyone wants you to be, everything good with you. So look forward to seeing you back, as soon as you can, or just whatever, Anyway, so holiday weekend. Oops, something just fell. Big old bulky guy back here. You want to start off with this? Let's wait till we get a few more people in. So anyway, as you can see here, I did get a couple mugs in. So if you guys are interested, you can find them below. I also got a couple shirts in too. This one actually came out much better than I thought it was. Well, I didn't know how I was going to think, but I think it looks really nice. The image is really nice. A little bit smaller, but hey, you know what? Makes me feel like I have big hands. I got some M&Ms in there. So it gets me chomping up some M&Ms, you know why. But yeah, so I did get these mugs in. Again, I don't really drink coffee, but I guess I got to get some stuff. Got to get some stuff in there, right? So we'll quickly go over the pickups, and then we're going to go over this big guy. So I did get this guy in. And again, the red, not that I dislike the red so much, but I don't understand why they went with all crimson, like really pushing crimson, other than that this kind of goes along with what I've been saying, that these are not classified figures. These are retro figures in classified scale. So I don't consider these classified. They don't have numbers on them. It doesn't match what the crimson is supposed to be, but you can use it as a recruit. And again, I guess the other way to look at it is Python Patrol. There's no crimson in it. Just a little bit of crimson on the gun, and then back here, I did get this guy right here. Do I think we needed another Commando Snake Eyes? Not really, because I really thought the other one was really good, but this one does use the Stalker Buck. I know some people were upset that I got it wrong, but I think it fits him perfectly, and it really does exactly what we had in the 80s, where they just kind of reused the buck over and over and over. So it works awesome. That figure is extremely nice. So I hope Digital Diarrhea is going to be here soon. I do love that name. I think it is absolutely awesome. I also hope Tony is going to be here. Tony Romo. Tony's Figs, whatever he wants to call himself these days. Because we got to talk to him. Boy, he's got to be here for something. Some of you are going to get a kick out of it. Some of you guys aren't even going to know what the hell. We'll see it later on. So let's say hi to the chat really quick. Radical Toys, nice to see you. Johnny Reno, he's kind of Tony's second half is here, but I don't see Tony. PNC is in the house. Another channel member, thank you very much. Matthew Matson, the moderator, what he says goes. Cobweb, if you haven't followed Cobweb yet on Instagram and on YouTube, go ahead, click over there quickly, do it. Don't do it right now. Wait till the end. Shark Eyes, he is going to be on the Thursday with Friends soon. Action Figs, I love talking to this guy. This guy's giving me a lot of nice advice on things that he would like to see in my reviews, and I think we're going to see him hopefully get added a little bit more. Ray Paz, I'm always seeing this guy post on my stuff. Woodman29, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, Woodman. Swivel Arm Kimberlin, now with Kung Fu Battle Grip. You know, I still kind of like Scalper Jeremy a little bit better, but Cobra Commander is in the house. Boba Wave is in the house. Chaz the Guru, the best meme maker for the GI Joe, and I guess if you like memes that, you know, insult islands, he is the one to go to for sure. Dan the Toy Man. Toy, I don't want to say your name. Toyago. I want to say Tiago because that is a pro skater that is absolutely amazing, but I can see that's not how it is. Skyfall is in the house. And there's a few more, but I don't think I can get to everyone. Just kind of quickly through in here. Payne's, thank you, Payne. Always love to have Payne in the house. Ronnie Trickshot, all the way from Australia. Elvin's Little, and can you guys hear me? You guys say hi, Thanos Copter. And what is this one? Being a Fine Figure. I have never seen you before. Thank you very much. Let me let the guy in. Oh my God, you're going to scratch my door, buddy. Oh, he wants to say hi already. Come on here. All right. Oh, you say hi. All right. All right, now go. Go sit down. Don't lay down on all the clothes because I haven't folded the clothes yet. All right. So let's get into the giveaway that will start tomorrow. So I mentioned before the way that I do my giveaways, unlike some of the other channels that are bigger and they just have loads of people, I do a video. We'll go out at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Put your channel name in the description, and you have till 8 p.m. next Friday or next Monday to be entered into the drawing, and then you have to be here when we do it. Anthony, Tony Romo, I hope you're not working. You got to stick throughout the show. There's going to be one part that's going to make you laugh your ass off. But anyway, so this is what we're going to be giving away. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, General Thane. This guy is huge. He is big. He is heavy. And I don't even want to give him away. I really don't. This was donated by Digital Diarrhea. He sent me a message that he wants to donate something to the channel, something other than GI Joe or Action Force, to try and maybe get some new subscribers or whatever. So he went through Hella Dope Toys. He sent this, so I did the review of it, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway. But again, there are some rules I mentioned before. You got to be in the lower 48. It's just too expensive to ship outside of the country. And you got to be in the stream. The other thing that I have to say is, and I was hoping he was going to be here. So this here, so they told Hella Dope Toys what they were doing or what he was doing. He sent this core figure and said, hey, you know what? Give this to him just to say thanks. So thank you to Hella Dope Toys. This is going out to Digital Diarrhea right there. There he is. Digital Diarrhea. Again, thank you for the soon-to-be giveaway. And this is going to be for you. So I will be shipping this out to you probably sometime this week. And that is courtesy of Hella Dope Toys. So if you haven't checked out Hella Dope Toys, you need to do it. They do ship fast as hell. I got that within one day. I don't even think BBTS or anyone has it. All right. 10 minutes in. I gotta see. What else was I going to talk about? I have all these notes. I was working on the show up until like 10 minutes. Yeah, toy pickups. I also got the Fortnite boat. So if you haven't seen the Fortnite boat, check that video out. It is it's blowing up right now. I mean, it's like all of a sudden people are watching it like crazy. Also, I gotta say, last week, Matthew and I, Punks on Film, we went over and did Tombstone. And I gotta say, Payne, I have all kinds of notes. I do notes like crazy. What I didn't do this week is notes for the show in order. This is all on the GI Joe Roundtable, believe it or not. So, where the hell was I at? Oh yeah, the Fortnite boat. It's going great. That video, I don't know, a lot of people watching. I think people are getting to see what it looks like to have some of the naval figures in it. So, I mean, it is awesome, especially if you have one. If you have a Ollie's by you, we can get it for $15. Really, really worth it. Okay, so I was mentioning, Matthew and I do Punks on Films. Last week we did Tombstone. We air it here and we air it on Punks on Film. I've been removing them here to push people over there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, that video is getting all kinds of views. So who's ever watched, and it's getting views here and there. So I haven't removed it. I probably won't be removing it. I gotta say thank you to everyone that is watching it. Matthew and I have a lot of fun doing that. Even if there's only 11 or 12 of you. So, yeah. What's paying Lauren sitting in the back row taking notes? Man, dude. I had to rewatch that Roundtable and just sit there and take notes. Because I really wanted to go over some things that I think some people, like anything, they take things out of context and they run with it because it fits their narrative. And that just really bothers me. When people do stuff like that, they don't take it in their narrative, or they take it in their narrative, they don't take it for actually what it's worth. So I'm going to do my best to explain what I heard and what they said. So anyway, that's it. I know I've rambled on for 12 minutes, but I got 3 hours, and I don't work tomorrow. So hell, I might go 4 hours. Not that it's hard. I usually go right into the midnight hour fairly easily. I will be out of pot by then. And will definitely go to the bathroom by then. Peyton says, I got one using my Amazon points, but the Ollie's one is in my area is none. Yeah, mine just showed up here in Michigan. So I don't know what's up with that because other people were getting it. I actually found mine in Ohio. So I have seen shots that they are here. I have not been there yet to check it out, but there's not as many as I've seen in the other states. So keep checking it. It is definitely, it's worth it. I mean, the boat looks really good. And I only need one. So Thanos Copter, no Ollie's here. And Ronnie says midnight after lunch here. Okay, so I didn't mention about, okay, so let me tell you how you do this. And I'm all over the place, right? All right, so this will all be in this is all going to be in the description of how you can get this guy. So the video that's going to go out tomorrow, all you got to do is put your name, your channel name. That's how I do it. Your channel name in the comments. I'll put it on Microsoft Word. And then on next Monday, the 13th, I will do the Wheel of Names. You just got to be here when we spin. When we spin, if you're not here, we pull your name out, goes in the garbage, and then we'll spin again. You got about a minute to decide. The other thing that I have also decided to do, and I did this before, but I'm going to mention it, any channel member will get their name thrown in twice. So let's say someone like Allison, if she puts her name in it, she's going to get her name twice in it because she's a channel member. And I thought about it. Digital Diarrhea, he's a channel member, so his name's going to be put into it. I don't want to say I hope he doesn't win, but I don't want it to seem like it's a big ruse here. And I just want to say, there's Ted Darklaw. I let Digital Diarrhea know, courtesy of you guys, he will be getting this because of, listen, Ted and then they just felt like, hey, you know what? If you're going to be buying something like this for someone else to do a giveaway, I'm going to throw this in for you. So I just want to say thank you to them. Again, thank you to both of them. They're absolutely awesome. Again, Digital Diarrhea, thank you for what you did. And thank you to the Hella Dope Toy guys. Anyway, let's get into the actual news. Now, there's a lot of news here. There's a lot of things. I'm going to cover some things that maybe I normally wouldn't. And I got to say right now, I got to stop really quickly here. I got Chad Kinsler in the house. I don't know if I've ever seen you here, but I know that I have seen you before. So I want to say thank you for stopping by. And Beta Ray Bob, I don't believe I've ever seen you. If I have, I apologize. If I have, Matthew will let me know that, hey, you're an idiot. Stop saying stuff like that. All right. So let's just get into this. So this, again, we're going to cover some things I said that I probably wouldn't ever cover. And I want to talk about this because what's a crowdfunder? And I will not be purchasing it. But I got to say that if this hits all its tiers, this is a wonderful, wonderful 1/18 scale diorama for GI Joe. Now, I think it's over 1,000. They need 5,000 backers just to get the door. I think it's pretty funny, as what people are referring to it as the door. Okay, Beta Ray Bob says, it's my first time in one of your streams. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't get that wrong. And Chad says he's been here before, but just subscribe. Well, thank you very much. Again, I appreciate everyone. The channel is doing very well, and it's because of every single one of you. That is for sure. So anyway, looking at this thing, I think it's actually pretty cool. I don't care about Jurassic Park, but I do like 1/18 scale. Articulated Chad is not wrong when he talks about world building. It is way easier to world build that scale than the 6-inch scale, which so many of us are collecting right now. But let's be honest, not everyone is producing stuff. So unfortunately, I do not think for $250 this here, the wall is worth it. But when you start seeing everything, I like it. I don't think it's that bad. The bridge or the doors do open automatically, I believe. It plays the music. I do have to say, toys, your boxes do not stand very well. This thing's kind of okay. So I guess I should be back, maybe. Yeah. All right. So I'm back. Listen, I have issues because of my old computer. Yes. Thank you, Matthew. Here's a dinosaur. Again, I really know nothing about Jurassic Park, but people have said that the feet here have been changed, I believe, so they're proper. Again, a few more things that you could use wonderfully to create different dioramas. Again, I think the dioramas that you can do for 1/18 scale are absolutely amazing. How I have a whole GI Joe room that most of you know, but again, I don't even have room for this. But I do like it. They're getting over. I mean, I think everyone's going to have creative crowdfunders. There's too many of them going right now, and more to come. The Ford Exploder looks really, really nice, and I do believe they said this is number 5, so this one doesn't get ruined. I've listened to other channels talk about it. Again, I think it looks nice. $250. You know, does have some detail to it. Nice GPS, I guess, so you can get around Jurassic Park. The leg of the goat, which I think is actually pretty cool. I guess that should be Tom Brady's leg. So all this stuff would work really nice if you have a display, especially let's say maybe it's you wanted to do some customizing. You want it. This is how you get to the Terradrome. This would be absolutely perfect. I look at this here and I'm like, hey, can you not? I mean, seriously, people are paying $250. give them some actual articulation other than a little bit of knees and stuff. I don't think there's any reason not to. I don't know why in this day and age, other than let's say Star Wars, to fit in with your vintage, why there's 5 points of articulation or something like this. I understand the superpowers, they're supposed to fit in line and they're $10 each. There's the goat that obviously loses his leg. Again, everything looks really nice. You can tell a lot of paint apps on this thing. And I see this, and like this is what I just see. And I don't know if I ever mentioned, but when I was a kid, when I used to make my GI Joe bases and forts, I spent hours. I would take string, and I would string up like their laser wires, so no one could fly in above them. So I look at this, and this is exactly what I think of. So I just quickly wanted to talk about it. It is another crowdfunder. If you're into it, back it. Again, I really do. It's nice that Jurassic Park fans are hopefully getting some stuff. Travis, you need to stick around because when we get to the GI Joe stuff, there's going to be a few surprises for you. So, punk rock. I'm out working, but I wanted to wish you all a happy and safe Independence Day. Same to you. Check out Travis, a toy kind of mood. And Travis, you're going to have to watch on the replay then. All right. So this is the next, what will probably be a crowdfunder. Now, this is all courtesy of pretty much of Toy Habits. You can go watch your stream. Toy Sorceress really breaks it down how she did this. So it looks like Super 7 is coming out with a Cat's Lair. I can only imagine how expensive this thing is going to be. It's going to be expensive. But she did some wonderful things using, I should say, Adobe or Photoshop, figuring out exactly how these things actually look. And Allison is giving us an update of, as of now, we're up to 43 Batman announced, 16 Jokers, 6 Batwings, and a red, white, and blue Batman as Uncle Sam holiday figure exclusive to the fireworks stand by Todd's house. You know what? I could easily see it being $900 to $1,000. I mean, the Thunder Tank is $450, and I mean, so this was what Super 7 was showing. It looks like the Eye of Thundera will glow. I believe the whole thing was called the Eye of Thundera. And here it is with the eyes. And it's hard to say because if you remember, the Thunder Tank actually came out of one of the paws. Now it will not be coming out of the paws, so that Thunder Tank is absolutely huge. But Toy Sorceress did some stuff, and she talked how she did it, and she was able to lighten it up. And this is the actual photo. By lighting it up, you can obviously see the stuff they've had to change, but there it is. Like, that is the colors, pretty close to what we will probably get. Now, she could be completely wrong, but this is using the photo that Super 7 gave out. Now, what she did was, she's an architect. I didn't know this, but she talks about it. So go check out their stream. She was able to scale it to, this is the figures and how about where they should fit, because you have the door. Remember, Super 7 is a 7-inch line, so that door is going to be 7 inches. She estimates this thing is going to be about 36 inches high and 36 inches high and about 27 inches wide, which is crazy. I mean, that is big. That is very large. Yes, so is the Dragonfly, but that is going to be scaled across. It won't be nearly as wide, you know. Here's another shot that they put out. She did the same thing. I actually thought like someone had colored this in, but what she said is how she just took away the darkness and it brought up the colors. So I think it's actually pretty cool, to be honest. This was a shot that they threw in the back here. Lionel sitting at the command, as you can see, because Super 7 doesn't give you 90-degree articulation in the legs, he's going to kind of be sitting back. So that is unfortunate for people that buy this. But hey, if you're buying Super 7, you already know what you're getting. And so she took the looking at how tall they should be and put the figures back here. So she did a great job of figuring out exactly about how big this thing is going to look. So anyway, there it is. If you have an extra $1,000, I suggest you buy 4 dragonflies and then worry about this later, because I don't care about this. I need to get that last tier on the dragonfly. I'm just messing. I love the ThunderCats. I hate that Super 7 has the license. And again, you can go watch my Tiger video and watch me get extremely, extremely upset. And I do want to say hi to Pablo Crew. Unfortunately, I mentioned before that I need Allison to kind of break down what you're saying. But thank you very much. Again, I love reaching out to other parts of the world. I want to say hi to Brick Something. Thank you very much. I love seeing Brick and articulated. Or not articulated. I can't think of your name. One of the articulated. There's so many of them. Someone will say who it is. All right. So from other animals that don't actually exist to dinosaurs. So NECA showed these dinosaurs off a while back. I was never into dinosaurs, the TV show or anything. I did see them. Highly articulated. Thank you very much. You start getting all these articulated people in there. Highly articulated. Yes. Also hit highly articulated up. He's close to hitting 500 subs on YouTube right now. I know I'm all over the place, but hey, that's what you guys tune in for. Hit up highly articulated. YouTube has changed their monetization to when you hit 500, you can now get super chats. I think you can do channel members. You can do super thanks. You can do stuff that just helps to support your channel and everything that goes in along with it. So anyway, here is the dinosaurs. This is things people have been waiting for. I have no interest in it, other than NECA is putting out some really nice looking figures. But this, I gotta say right here, Payne, this is for you. I don't know if you like this, but look at all those accessories. Only what, $37? $40 for all those accessories that you could use for something else. Look at that. I'm looking out for you, Payne. But it comes with a lot of stuff. And again, $37 usually at Target. Usually about $40 if you go to one of your independent stores. You get little dinosaurs to play with. So I guess he's like, maybe those dinosaurs are like GI Joes. Like they're the little GI Joes. He's playing with little GI Joes. He's got a frying pan. So you can recreate one of the greatest Disney scenes with Rapunzel when she spins it around and hits herself in the head. I love Tangled. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. I love Tangled. If Matt asked me to watch Tangled for Punks on Film, I would in a heartbeat because I love that movie. Here he is with the slingshot. You don't give kids slingshots. Give kids long darts, So, again, looks really nice. The high chair. NECA, seriously, NECA is knocking stuff out of the park. I can't wait to get these gargoyles. Hopefully, Angela should be in at my shop sometime this week. So, everything here looks really nice. Lots of pictures. And then we get the dad. Now, I know nothing about it. Again, more accessories for you, Payne. This guy is big. He's got his nice shirt on. 2 different face sculpts. A mug. Look, he's got a mug too. Look. He's not the only one that can get a mug. Actually, any of you guys get a month to have a channel. All you need is a logo. But again, it looks really cool. I'll be interested to see how his articulation is, being the fact that he is so big and bulky. But I mentioned it before, man. I mentioned it before. That elf, it's still sitting there in my top 10 of the year. I love that elf. I am disappointed that I won't be getting the San Diego Comic-Con one, but I also wasn't going to pay that right now. Anthony says there's 53 in the chat. Click that like button. I agree. Hit that like button. We should have at least 50 likes right now, right? Why do people not hit the like button? I don't understand. I guess if you're watching on a TV, that's a little bit harder. But you got your phone in your hand. Hit that like button, man. You're watching someone's stuff, man. Like it. So anyway, I think this guy looks really cool. I do wish there was a better way. You guys don't see this. I wish we could see on the slides what's coming up next. If you listen to Chris from the Full Force, he's always kind of complaining because he doesn't know what's coming next. I know why now. So anyway, here he is. He's got a hat. He's got a little cigar in his hand. So everything looks, I mean, again, and not to mention all the photography that NECA does. You just sit there going, why are you not making those accessories for us? Ray Paz, yes. Someone needs to make an A-team. Not 9-inch, though. Dude, I would love an A-team. I would love an actual A-team. That should be a crowdfunder from a reputable company. BA's van, the 4 members, and like Amy Allen as one of the stretch goals. Anyway, so here they are together. A cute little father and son. All right, and there he is yelling. Hey, anyone has kids, you know you've yelled at your kids for something. Allison Troy is saying, if we get 175 likes during the live stream, Lawrence will dress like Destro for Halloween. Basically, just paint his head silver, smack that light. If I ever get 175 in this, I would be shocked. So I am willing to take that bet because I know we don't have that many people. Ooh, Face Man's vet. Now that, you know, that would be a hell of a stretch goal. Seriously, one of the worst vets that was ever made, but it was very iconic. The white with the red ass stripes right down the side, right down the middle. Yeah. All right. So again, I like going over the NECA stuff for the most part. I know people used to hate NECA. I think they're making some really, really wonderful figures right now. I'm not a horror person, but again, accessories, and it's Michael Myers. Now, to me, Friday the 13th was never really that scary. It was more gory. Same with Nightmare on Elm Street. But Halloween, that has a chill when you hear that music. That's what is a Friday the 13th in some ways. But Halloween really has a chill. And it makes you realize that if I'm going to dress up like Destro, I might have a fighting chance against Michael Myers because they'd have rockets. And yes, Anthony, he looks great. He looks great. Anthony, honestly, you are right. Listen, I have to pat myself on the back like a lot of other people. Channel's doing well, and I'm very happy and thankful for everyone, every one of you that watches and spends a little bit of time with me because I put a lot of time into this. So to see the rewards, it means so much to me. Anyway, he does look really good. Unfortunately, he does look a little plasticky, and I know he's plastic. Trav is smashing the thumbs up for Destro. Yeah, you really couldn't pick like Cobra Commander or Snake Eyes, considering I have the masks. You know what? Listen, hey, way to go. Thank you very much. I mean, that means a lot to me. Listen, I know everyone has preferences of who they like to watch, who they like to listen to, but it means a lot that so many of you do enjoy coming here and listening to just me for 3 hours. Sometimes I don't even wonder what the hell is going on with me. And NECA does horror figures pretty well. I agree. And you know what? The one thing that NECA does, kind of not going off topic on this, what NECA tends to do, in my opinion, is they really delve deep into stuff. Not like Super 7, where they make you wait 3 years before you get something. They really delve deep into some of the more obscure characters, or they let you know, hey, you're getting all this. Which is good, because why should everyone have to sit there and, wonder about it, and wonder if they're going to get stuff. So now it looks like he's probably going to get like a 90-degree bend. Now, they normally don't use double articulation. This one, again, it doesn't look like it, but if this is what you're going to give me, I can deal with that. I know some people have a real issue with that, but figure looks absolutely wonderful. And it just comes with a bunch of accessories. And you get this nice little pumpkin. I know you get pumpkins elsewhere, but there he is. We all know what's going to happen here. All right. Listen, I have 6 sets of slides to go through. Let me tell you something. Those damn GI Joe, the GI Joe pics that I put in, they take up so much space. They're using such high resolution that even when you save them off their website, man, it takes up so much space that those ones are the ones I have to break up like crazy. And unfortunately, this thing died. It crapped out on me right before I started, so got to pull up the next slideshow. All right, so let's get into a little bit of the Jada Toys Street Fighter. I know you guys love them. I mentioned I'm going to talk Jada more just because even the stuff that I'm not collecting, I think look awesome. So I do have this one on pre-order. Thanks to all of you guys enabling me to pick it up and going through Hella Dope Toys. So as soon as they get it, hopefully I will get it. I'm not really sure why they threw Chun-Li in here, but it was some promo shots that they had done. And then here you have not Zangief. This is PNC. You'll tell me. I know PNC will tell me who. I can't think of his name, and I do know it. Like I said, I never really played with these figures, so I will be nitpicking because I was around it. Dawson, thank you very much, Brick, and Anthony, and Action Figs. So I'll be cherry picking which ones I actually liked, but these figures look absolutely wonderful. The Ryu that I have, the Fei Long that I've seen in person, they all look absolutely wonderful. And then here you have Ken, right? This is Ken, right? I always get Ken and Jean-Claude Van Damme mixed up. I hate the eyebrows. I didn't play the game enough. Is that how the eyebrows looked? Because it really, really bothers me. Yeah, we're about to look at that one in 1 second because that one popped up. So again, this is just a repaint, but hey, you know what? This is how you get it. This is how you get a line and how you get new molds of figures. So, and then this popped up, and Evil Ken does look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie about that. Evil Ken does look pretty cool. I am not enough into this, but looking at this guy again, I'm sorry, Evil Ryu, not Ken. I'm sorry. Someone will correct me. Someone will call me out. I get it. But again, this is what you need, and I think it's awesome. This is the SDCC exclusive. So if you know someone that's going, Travis, maybe you can ask him to pick one up for you. Anthony says, I wish Jada did ThunderCats and Mortal Kombat. Well, I think Mortal Kombat would be perfect just because then people could actually mix Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I think Sparrow Toys, if they had the ThunderCats line, it would be awesome because they do have this, other line, their Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. They have great articulation, and you can mix and match them. They would fit so perfectly together. But again, I like the black. It's kind of that Johnny Lawrence look going against Danielson. So I like that they give him a different accessory that I guess he can smash through. So, but again, looks pretty cool. I did like this shot here. He's just kind of sitting there. Again, I like the blurred out shot there. So let's get into a little Indiana Jones. As you guys know, I know nothing about Indiana Jones because I've never seen Indiana Jones. But I heard some other guys talking about this. I heard some guys actually insult the face, and that I don't get because this is the Mezco. I believe it's 140, and I'm sorry. I want to buy this, and I don't even like Indiana Jones, but it looks so damn awesome. I'm just reading through some of these comments quickly. So just look at this face sculpt. If you don't see that this is Harrison Ford, I don't know what the hell you're looking at because this looks dead on. I don't know how you can even make a better head sculpt in this size. That would take a literal miracle. So it looks really nice. I think with the soft, good clothes, it's just going to pop. It's going to fit very well. Here you have the jacket. He has one of his artifacts. He has the whip that is wrapped up. Again, I think this looks awesome. The stance that he's in. I will say this. As much as I love my Mezco Destro, I do worry. Everything moves so smoothly, but man, you do worry because you can't see underneath the soft goods that if something is starting to stress, something is starting to wear. But there's such smooth joints that it's hard to see. Shark Guy says, and here I was thinking you'd be dressed up in your indie cosplay for the stream. Yeah, not me. Not me. That is for sure. Well, Anthony says KJ and Bobby were clowning the face, and I was like, "The hell are you talking about, Willis?" Now, I knew who I was talking about. I was trying to be nice because, I am friends with a toy kind of mood. Kind of. Yes. They were dogging this face, and I don't know what the hell because I was in the chat. I watched Matthew say something. I watched you say something. I saw some other people being like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, this thing is just, don't get me wrong. If you want to say, hey, you know what? This face sculpt is not what? $115 better than the Hasbro one? Okay. I can get that. I can get that. But to say that this does not look like him, man, you are so wrong. Look at that. Like, if you didn't know any better, you took a quick look, you'd be like, that's right out of the movie. I've never seen the movie, so it could be right out of the movie. Well, you know what? You got to listen to the customizer. If he thinks the head sculpt is good, then you can probably, assume that it is, even if he's just an adequate one. But nonetheless, again, I think he looks awesome, and I think the soft goods are going to look amazing on him. So, and again, I don't know what anyone could say that they don't like that face sculpt. Again, if you want to say it's not worth $100+ better than the Hasbro one, then that I can agree with, that I can understand, but you can't put down that head sculpt. And I love how the hands are literally meant to fit all of this. So it's set perfect. Again, I believe these are spiders. And spiders not come in my house. Well, actually, a lot of spiders come in my house. Fuck spiders. I don't want spiders in my house if I can avoid it. Again, Mezco does some wonderful, wonderful shots. And because of the soft goods, it's just like there's seeing no seams is wonderful. I mean, it really it does so much, and just having that destro and having a little bit of time with the Bishop, the way they do their soft goods, they're usually not big and bulky. They fit pretty seamlessly. Here he is with the whip again. I don't know how you can insult that. I don't know how you can insult that. Shark, we've already talked about this. Australia is off limits because you have huntsman spiders that are the size of a grown man's hand, and I have the size of a woman's hands. And if I remember correctly, or if I heard correctly, they don't even spin webs. They just come out to kill you. So, so anyway, here he is. If you are interested, I think it's about $140. Mezco, but you're going to get quality. You're also going to wait 3 years to get it or so. Here's everything that he comes with. Lots of hands. I'm not a big fan of how the hands stay on the Mezco figures. They do go on, but they pop off pretty easily. But you have all these head sculpts here. 3 different whips, one that's coiled up. So I like that. You got a satchel. And then you have his revolver and a few other things, arrows, spiders. No one wants spiders in the house, especially huntsmen. Really don't want a huntsman. Jay says, I put an order on the Mezco Firefly. Oh, I did too. I did too. I'm not saying I'm regretting it, but my pocketbook is regretting it. But that thing, having the Destro just makes me want that you're just like, all right, come on. I've already paid for him. Just send him to me. Again, he does get a lot of stuff. So maybe this is what you're paying your $140 for. A lot of accessories. So we might as well jump right into the indie wave. For some odd reason, GI Joe has YoJo June Wednesday, yet somehow the boring-ass Star Wars team, who also does indie, go figure, right, gets a live stream on Wednesday. You know, there are 4 other days they could have done it. Instead of just, I don't know, people didn't really care. Whoa, we just jumped up to 66 out of nowhere. Hit that like button. I like seeing that. 66. We need to hit more than that, right? So anyway, here's the next wave. Again, I know nothing about these figures. But they do look pretty cool. So here's the box art. Again, not that bad. Again, GI Joe's just doing. I mean, the GI Joe team is doing it the right way when it comes to packageless, not packageless, plastic-free packaging. As much as I am looking forward to it, coming back to having the plastic, I'm gonna miss this. Whatever the GI Joe does. So I think these face sculpts actually look really, really good. There is no doubt about it. Oh, let's say hi to Sergeant Reds. Indian figs have been popular. Wave 3 is coming in this week, I believe. So if you're in Michigan, you got to check out Sergeant Reds. Sarge, you also got to let me know when Angela comes in. I am waiting for Angela. I know you told me she was shipping last week. So, but if you're in Michigan, check out Sergeant Reds. It is worth the trip, even if you're not real close. He has a hell of a store. A hell of a store. That is for sure. But again, I think these face sculpts look really nice. Again, Dr. Elsa, I know nothing about her. I probably should go watch Indiana Jones just to find out what the hell I'm missing. So here she is with her hair. I don't think it looks the greatest. Here she is with the hat. Not bad. So I want to throw those both in. You got some goggles. These things are great for accessories. Now, some of them are kind of small, according to Matthew. He did hit me up saying that, you know what, they're really small. So, who censored you twice? Who censored you twice? We didn't. Matter of fact, Matthew, I'm looking here. We don't seem to be getting any issues with the we don't seem to be getting any of the things we have to approve. So, Sarge says short round is small. Yes, because he has to work in the sweatshops, right, Matthew? Did you get your team of short rounds? All right. Here's the Grail Knight. Now, this guy, I think, could fit in a lot of things. If you do, I mean, if you collect like Mythic Legions and different things like that, if you like that type of stuff, this guy will fit in absolutely perfect. I don't know how he fits into Indiana Jones. I know he's very popular, but I am absolutely blown away by how he fits in because I've never seen the movies. Yeah, I'm not going to act like I know the stuff. So here we do have Henry Jones Sr., yes, Indy's dad. Now, I was under the assumption that there were some issues trying to get likeness from, I do know his name, Sean Connery. But I would say that's been resolved because I think from what I could see, this figure looks really, really good. So if you like Sean Connery, I mean, this is just a figure that looks like it. Payne says the Mythic Legions have figures that look exactly like him, only better in All-Stars. And twice as much. So, okay. You can't, listen, you cannot do that. Like, you cannot not, point these out like that. You gotta, mention that they're a little bit more expensive. I like this figure just in general. You could put him in with your GI Joes just to have a Sean Connery or with your Marvel Legends. So, again, really nice looking figure, no doubt about it. Again, articulation, sometimes the team, they really needs to work on this. There's no reason why a Hasbro figure should not be have double joints. At this point, they should all have double joints, but they get away with it, and I don't know why. Again, here's a full shot of him with his umbrella. This is accessories galore. So now I've already seen people already kind of saying, hey, this guy could be Shipwreck's dad. I don't see that. But you definitely could have a sailor that has been captured by Cobra. So there is absolutely no doubt about that. This is Antonio Banderas. I don't see it like this. He looks nothing like Zorro to me. But this is supposed to be Antonio Banderas. And so you kind of have here the sailor cap. Again, this would fit perfectly as, a sailor that was captured by Cobra. Just some no-name figure. But, yeah. And Screaming Skull Saloon says, Shipwreck's crazy uncle. Yeah. Isn't that kind of Shipwreck, though? Hasbro says it's for the aesthetics of the figures. Are they working with Super 7 then? I mean, get over that. Get over that crap, Again, I can forgive Mythic Legions, the Four Horsemen. I can forgive them for having as much articulation because their sculpts and their paint is just so magnificent. So anyway, man, what is going on here? Need a Jungle Boat dial for that fig. All right, and here's Indiana. So again, if you want to say you'd rather buy this figure rather than the Mezco, I understand, because the price range is way different, and you get a submachine gun with this. Again, I think the figure looks good. The likeness is not bad. I mean, it's not Mezco, that's for sure. But again, is Mezco's $100 plus better? It's hard to tell. And I think the gun looks really small. I think, at least from this angle, the revolver looks really, really small. But hey, whatever floats your boat. So, lots of accessories. That is the one thing that these guys do have, is accessories like crazy. And I know people love them, and they work well if you want to have some sort of battle of Cobra and GI Joe battling to get to something. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to be spending a boatload of money to maybe get figures that you don't like. But a lot of those figures, they can easily be background characters, be civilian figures in your dial. So I think they work actually pretty well. Again, there was something here where they talked. Again, one day I'll see the movie. You guys have an easy way to get me to watch the movie, but you guys don't want to tune into Punks on Film and vote on it. You guys could do it. So now we have an import Mando and Baby Yoda or Grogu. I have to say, I think this looks really nice. And I think this is FH. I think this is Figure Arts. I always get Figure Arts and the other one mixed up. I can't think of their name. That's not mixed up. I get it. Someone will mention who I'm talking about. It's not Mezco. But I think this figure looks really nice. Now, one of the biggest things. Okay, so Matthew's already getting on the crotches. The one thing about like Stormtroopers, Mandalorian, all these Boba Fett, one thing about them is that there's no reason to ever mess up with the head sculpts and the bodies because they're fully armored. There should be absolutely no reason why you can screw this up. Yes, Moffex. I always get Moffex and Figure Arts mixed up, probably because I've never collected either one of them. Let's see. Screaming says, "Is that Boba Fett and Yoda when he was a baby?" Well, it's not Bubba. It's the Mandalorian. I don't know why. Should have came up with a better name, but I understand why they went with the Mandalorian. He does have a wire cape, so you can make it look like he's walking. I think the shot looks absolutely awesome. Again, you can like hear the music just playing in the background. Again, I think stuff like this is really good. I think they do a wonderful job. But again, is it that much better than one of the Hasbro ones? That's hard to tell. Well, that's hard to tell, but it does look like it has better articulation. Let's see here. Too many Mando figures. It's kind of like Snake Eyes. It just never stops, and you're going to continually get 50 more. Well, again, you have to have an evergreen figure in a line. I understand what you're saying, Jay. You got to have an evergreen figure in the line, and Snake Eyes is Wolverine for GI Joe. You can't say Boba Fett or Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian, like that helmet, that is their that's their Wolverine. That is their evergreen figure that you're always going to have. But I fully understand what you're saying. If you have a really good one, do you really want to buy another one? I mean, do they give you enough, to justify spending this? you know, snake eyes are usually like $25, so I guess I can justify that I keep buying them. But you do get the Grogu. Now, I know Robo on the Frush, he was mentioning how they did change the articulation where you can see he can actually hold it with two hands. The dark saber, so it does come with the dark saber. Yeah, I think it is the ugliest lightsaber of all of them, but that's just me. But yeah, I think it does look really cool. It is a nice look if that's what you like. Matthew says Boba Fett was evergreen for Star Wars until that crappy Boba Fett series came out. Yeah, I'm not going to say much. There were some good parts of the Boba Fett series. There were some bad parts. The scooter part was pretty awful. Boba Fett should have been left alone. It was better him being a mystery. I'll just say that. Here's his water to prove that he went down to Mandalore and got the water. Again, I don't know why you just couldn't get water from anything. But hey. Now, I guess it did say something about the Grogu having two different bodies. So you're going to have a sitting body, and then you'll have a walking body like this, or standing body. So I don't know. I know Robo had said, well, does that mean you're not going to have arms? I don't know why you actually would need two different bodies. I didn't look enough into it. I just kind of liked it. And here you have his little ball. And here you have him just walking alongside. And you can hear the music. So, here we have another clone trooper. Again, evergreen. There are people that buy armies of these, just like people buy armies of alley vipers and bats and cobra troopers and vipers. People like to army build. I'm assuming you can do it with Commander Apple. I don't know if there's anything different, but he's there if you want it. And I think Robo says it best. He's there if you want it. If you don't, just move along. There are some people that have a huge issue that they just can't move along. Maybe you gotta talk about this Darth Vader. I know people don't like the Obi-Wan series. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I really did like the Obi-Wan series. I want to say hi to Ostradamus. Check him out when he goes live. Normally, I know he normally goes live on Saturday nights for, I think, roughly 18 to 19 hours straight. It is a marathon. He puts me to shame. There's no doubt about it. But check out Ostradamus. You'll find a whole bunch of content creators on his show. So, I gotta say, I think this Vader looks absolutely awesome. So, the fact that this is like a $27 or $28 figure. Now, you do not get a separate head sculpt. You only get this mask. But the way that it is cut through, like Obi-Wan cut it. And the way the actual face looks, I think that it is absolutely awesome. I can definitely see myself possibly picking this up. I love the cloth cape. So he has the cloth cape. He has the cloth dress around him. That just makes the figure that much better. He doesn't get very much, but when we start looking at the face, you definitely see some. I mean, just look at that. I mean, you can see Hayden Christensen like right through there. Just the way you did in the cartoon. And again, for $27 or $28, if you like Star Wars, I mean, even if you have one, I know one of the imports, they do one too, but just looking at this and you're like, yeah, I mean, I can justify, coming up with that money for this figure, especially if you like Obi-Wan and you like Darth Vader. So that is the end of that slide. So we've come to the conclusion. We've come to the end of the non-GI Joe stuff. I think that's the end of non-GI Joe stuff. So if you were here for the GI Joe talk, you're in luck because we have 2 hours to go. We will be talking about GI Joe for quite some time going forward. So let me find my slides here. Yeah, let's see it. Third, yeah. So believe it or not, there's that much GI Joe news to talk about. I know it's the end of Yojo June. We are into July. I haven't really had anything else. Oh, those are fireworks. Yeah, so if you guys hear something, Matthew just hit me up. And he asked what I'm banging on. Those are fireworks. There's a field and people are doing fireworks right behind it. So, oh, he don't care about fireworks machine. Nope. My old dog that my ex has, he's probably flipping out right now. Thunderstorms, all this stuff. He can't take it anymore. He's passed out. He's literally next to me, passed out. He couldn't give two shits about it. Yeah. So let's get into the GI Joe stuff, because as much as I did not plan on being a GI Joe stream, I've pretty much become one. Jay says, "Can you buy explosive fireworks in Michigan?" Yes, you can. For years, it was you could light them off here, but you couldn't buy them. In Ohio, you could buy them, but couldn't light them off. So people would go across the border and buy them, and then come over here and fire them. And then someone came up with the amazing idea to allow it, which I'm fine with. It doesn't really bother me. And everyone got this great idea that there would be these year-round firework places. And so many of them popped up. Big ones, too. You know how many empty fireworks places there are now? Because guess what people don't buy in winter? Fireworks. Guess what people don't buy after July? Fireworks. But someone had the wonderful idea to do that. So those are fireworks. Sorry about that. I guess I can't really do anything about it. All right. So, as I am, again, a GI Joe streamer now, I guess, let's get into some GI Joe stuff. Let's see. Brick says, "Yep, used to buy fireworks on tour and had fun in Michigan." The fireworks don't bother me. I mean, I didn't even really notice they were going off, to be honest. A few years ago, we had one of the weathermen blew his eye out, so now he has a glass eye, so he can't really see half his green screen when he's doing the weather. All right, so here's the Thunder Machine. This is the worst kept secret next to the Dragonfly being the HasLab. Actually, this is even worse. I do think this looks really good as a Thunder Machine, except for the cage in the front. That is the only thing that I really don't like. I think as Soundwave, he looks awesome. Quickly here, Brick says we'd have to burn them off in Michigan, so we shouldn't have to dump them before crossing into Canada. You gotta love that. Lots of fireworks talk, okay? Ray Pass said, "Last time I said show Geek Dad Life pissed me off, and like last time I said show Geek Dad Life pissed off and offended wasn't calling him a show. Yikes! I've never heard them really get mad. Like they pretty much call out a specific YouTuber by never using his name. I'm not saying you're wrong, but sometimes we interpret things the wrong way, or maybe they interpreted it the wrong way. Yeah, so Digital Diarrhea says that Thunder Machine made me want to get the whole series. Listen, they're really good as robots. Changing them into the vehicles, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not gonna lie. So I do like this here. I guess I understand the size, but if you remember, the two guns that he had, including his shoulder rocket, was some sort of like mini gantlet gun. So I thought this would have been perfectly fine. But I understand how they used the rocket from the back. It works. There's no doubt about it. This Zartan, I really like this Zartan. I like the colors that he's using. It's different, but you can tell that it's Zartan. The Ravage, I like it. I kind of wish it was black. I mean, there's no reason for it not to be black, other than they just want it to match Soundwave. I think Soundwave looks really good. He still has the compartment. Then there's Zarana. And I'm sorry, I understand they're O-rings, but you don't need to make the face ugly. You can make everything look better. There's no reason not to. So the only thing there's a couple things. I don't like the big cage in the front. It's way too thick. It looks very play schoolish, right? And I don't like the yellow lights. They're just not the same. But again, it's just different. It's Transformers. I just don't think the cage in the front looks right. I just don't like it. That's the only thing that I really don't like about it. Other than that, it looks pretty good for a Thunder Machine. Now, I will probably eventually be getting this. I do have it on pre-order because I want to make sure it didn't sell out. But, I mean, we've talked about, I've really talked about 6-inch vehicles, why they don't sell. These things here, they're $100 and they always go on sale or on clearance for a quarter of that. Not a quarter of that. For 2/3 of that, or 3/4 of that. I just don't know if I'm going to buy this when it first comes out, because we've seen it come down in price. Maybe by then YouTube is paying me boatloads of money to do reviews and I can justify it. So we'll see. The back here, I don't understand. I understand that it's nice that they put both figures here. But what the fuck is going on with Zartan? Like, he knows he's going to die, right? Like, this is worse than the guys on the back of the Stinger knowing that the rockets are about to blow their faces off. That I don't get, because he's just sitting there. But I understand it is a place to put the figures. I just will never have the figures there because it is a very, very dumb spot for it. Zartan is sucking exhaust. He's sucking something. Chaz only wanted the carded figures. There's been a lot of people that have said that. That Ravage sculpt is awesome. It was what I wanted as an original toy. Yeah, I agree. I think you're getting a lot. I mean, you figure you're getting four figures with this. You're getting 4 figures with this. 2 Transformers and 2 Joes. So, I mean, is $100 crazy? Probably not. Not for what things are selling for now, considering, the O-ring figures run between $20 and $25. And then the Ravage, I mean, it's probably a good deal. But the fact that we know that they come down in price, especially on Amazon, it's hard to justify jumping on this right away unless you're like, hey, I'm just worried this is going to sell out. So here's the card. Now, Lenny had specifically talked about how they made changes to this, how they gave her they took off the pauldrons on the side. They gave her the tattoo. Now, I wish they would have done a face like this and made it look better, because honestly, that is an awful face sculpt. The Zarana face sculpt has always been awful. There's no reason to keep it. Like, it's okay to redo the same figures, but do them better. And you probably guys are hearing great. If you're able to catch the fireworks, and maybe I should just turn it there and we can watch fireworks together. Just kind of crazy. I really wish Facebook would give you who it is. Unfortunately, I don't know who you are. It looks great, but I passed on the cost of the first two. Don't sell out and ended up on sale. Exactly. That's the reason why I pre-ordered it, because I can always cancel it. If it doesn't look like it's going to cancel, like that, it doesn't look like it's going to sell out, then I'll probably cancel it and just wait for it to go. Summer, yeah. So this would be the summer shooting season if I was actually in Detroit, but I'm outside of Detroit. If I was in Detroit, I might be. And the Facebook user is Leanne Hobbs. Thank you very much for joining. I don't know if this is the first time you've been here. I think you said you've caught it before. But I'm glad to have you. You do some wonderful, wonderful photography. I got to say that. If you haven't followed her on Instagram, you need to. I love the fact that she's like, I want to apologize for getting the stuff first because of where she lives. But her photography is so, so good. And I got to say this. When you got the Copperhead and Torpedo and you put them on the boat together and people were calling you out because they don't go together because one's Cobra, one's GI Joe, and you're like, I don't care. They look awesome. I love that. Because you know what? Sometimes you just got to call people out going, listen, I understand, but I don't give a fuck. Zartan, I've always hated this card art here. Now, this got brought up on, I forget who brought this up. But for a company that is so concerned about a hooded Cobra Commander looking like it's part of the KKK, someone kind of missed that this hood here actually looks like the top of one. Which I don't get. Like, seriously. Like, I didn't notice it. It never dawned on me. I've always just hated having the alternate face next to it. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's like 2:30 a.m. here. I'm awake because I just had a fucking nightmare that woke me up. And then you came here to have more of a nightmare. Well, thank you very much. So we do have to address the elephant in the room with this, is that why they didn't give you Thrasher with the Thunder Machine. They also, if you again, you look at it, they didn't give you a Hiss driver with the Hiss. They didn't give you Crankcase with the Awe Striker. So it is par for the course. But to me, this would have been perfect to give Zartan and Thrasher, and then you could do a 2-pack of the O-rings with Zorana and Xandar. And then you could do a 3-pack. But we'll talk a little bit more about the O-rings later on, because that does get addressed in the roundtable. All right. So let's move on to the reveals from last week. I know everyone's already talked about this, because here it is, Monday night, and these were all shown on Wednesday. So we finally got the Crimson Viper. We knew that it was coming. I love the fact that they're doing this. It's funny that people have an issue with teams, and they're like, I don't need this. But a lot of those same people are buying up Valiverse stuff that have teams, right? And guess what? You're going to have a desert team soon. That's why you saw Desert Snake Eyes. But in the back here, you have some Sky Strikers. You have extensive Enterprises. This looks a lot like the GI Joe headquarters. I haven't really seen anybody mention that. Now, I do hope that they've gone and they have fixed the legs. I've complained about the legs, I think, since version 1. They have not addressed the legs. They are still loose, and they definitely need to be adjusted. But I love this Crimson team. I absolutely love it. And again, you have I don't even know if you consider it a faction, but it is the Extended Enterprise. Xamot and Tomax, the Cobra Twins. Like, it is perfect. Here's the back of it. So here's everything that he comes with. Again, we know what the Viper comes with. Here's a better look at it. Of both things together. Again, I'm not sure really what Easter eggs are on here. So let's take a better look at the Viper. And so here you can see everything the Viper comes with: his goggles, the gun. The sidearm needs to be retired. I think it's time. I've heard a few other people mention the same thing, that it's time for the sidearm to be retired. I think Bobby B was talking about it. The sidearm, it needs to be retired. Once someone points out that you can't put a magazine in it, you can't unsee it. You can get away with it because it's a Cobra gun. GI Joe, you can't. Anthony, I cannot believe no one has even said a damn word yet. I cannot believe that Matthew and Tony haven't even said a word yet. Here's a little quick shot of them. Again, we know what the Viper looks like. So here's another shot in the dial. Seriously, I can only wait so long for someone. You really don't see it. You really don't see it, Tony. Matthew, do you see it? I mean, come on. I mean, it happens again. Oh my God, look at the picture. How do you guys not see what I'm talking about? I literally put it in thinking one of you guys would notice. Hold on one second. Johnny notices it. Hold on one second. All right. Viper Scout finally got it. Yes. Don't fuck with me. You hear me, Travis? Don't fuck with me. I saw what you tried to do on your last show. You even said you did. Anyway. I think these look awesome. I really do. Let's just hope that all the colors are the same. Let's just hope all the colors are the same. So if you take the gauntlets off, you have the same color as the neck. And I don't want to hear one person say, well, if we don't take the gauntlets off, it doesn't matter what color. They show pictures without the gauntlets. It's made to. Okay, pass. So, and let me explain it to everyone that doesn't know. I have an issue because they put a toy, a Joe kind of June on all the pictures. I call them out for it because it's not their picture. This stuff Viper Island does. I like these guys. All right. So Travis decided he was going to put it on a bunch of his shots when he did his show Saturday, and specifically call me out for it. So I took care of it. So here's another shot. Oh, look at this. Another shot without the gauntlets. So any of you that say, hey, you know what? If you don't take the gauntlets off, it doesn't matter what color the forearms are. Well, fuck you. The GI Joe team did it. All right? I do think this shot looks absolutely awesome. Even if I don't really like the pistol. I do like the gun, to be honest. I do like the rifle. I like the futuristic looks of the Cobra weapons. I think it looks really good. It fits. This looks good. Again, I really wish they could do. Someone made a comment on one of my videos that said the Joe team needs to start. Well, he said Star Wars too, but I don't care about Star Wars. They need to start using. Let me move this really quick. They need to start using this type of plastic or rubber for their bodies so you can actually be pliable and move stuff around. And I thought, you know what? That would be awesome. Because as awesome as these vests and everything look, they're so bulky that it is hard to get them in a shooting position. And I don't care who you are. You can do it. But the Valaverse has the same issue. The classified figures. That's why when you get like this figure here, like it's awesome because it's just straps that go down it. But the original Commando, people have already said, hey, you know what? I want that Commando because I can actually move it. So, but again, we've all seen the Viper. I think they look really nice. And who doesn't like the Viper? Let's see here. Oh my God, yes, all those people kept saying if you don't take the gauntlets off, the skin issue doesn't matter. You need to just shut the. Yes, they need to shut the fuck up. Seriously, like they specifically pointed it out on the stream about taking it off, and then I had people that were like, "Oh, well, if you didn't take that off, like, no, this is a quality control issue." All right, and you're right. Most of them, I'm going to keep all. I have almost all the gauntlets on almost all my Vipers. I understand the point. The point is, if they're made to come off, this stuff is removable. It's funny because that's one of the biggest things that becomes a fight when you look at like articulated Chad. When people try and say, "Oh, you know what? You get more detail and articulation of a 6-inch figure," and Chad argues with you. Well, one of the things that you get from a 6-inch figure that you don't get from a 1/18 scale is something like that. But now you're saying we can't take it off. So what's the difference? Just mold it on then. Again, and the fact that it wasn't like a slightly different color. It was a black arm and a white neck. I mean, anyway, okay. Calm down because we still have an hour and a half to go and we haven't even got to the topic yet. It's Chad. Okay. I gotta find my slides right now because. Okay. Nunchuck. Now, I gotta say, I did not care about Nunchuck when I heard that Nunchuck was coming. This was after I was out of GI Joe. I'm not a big fan of all of the ninjas. And then I saw Nunchuck and I went, God, that's a good-looking figure. And I just think he's a good-looking figure. And I like the fact that he comes with new accessories. Sure, there's 2 and 2 and 2. But either way, we actually got some new accessories. And there is Leanne Hobbs. As soon as I saw that Viper 3-pack, included POC, I knew those gauntlets were coming off to better show the skin, and every pack I got was messed up. So there were some that actually had figured out that if they were coming from Amazon, I believe, they were wrong. But if they came from Pulse, they were right. There was some slight difference to it. Go check out my video that I did. Like, there are people that like literally fight with me about it. Like, they argue with me. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, I don't care. I mean, again, if you want to do photography, and I don't even do great photography, like I see like the stuff you do and other people, like taking off the gauntlet. I mean, it's kind of like, the Fortnite Snake Eyes. The pistol and the knife they don't come out. They're just one mold. So they actually use extra money to make that mold rather than just give existing molds that people would have wanted. Anyway, I didn't care about this figure. Then I saw him and I was like, this figure is actually pretty good. So here's the back. Here's what he comes with. 2 nunchucks, 2 swords, 2 Wolverine claws, and a knife. No one can tell us whether or not the back piece of the head comes off. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to find out. Again, everything here looks really nice. And finally, I mentioned this before. I think it was on a toy kind of mood at night, maybe on Saturday, sometimes on Sunday, even sometimes Friday. I do it on Thursday if I'm off. But Travis, our luck, the swords, the Wolverine claws will all be super soft, and then the nunchucks will be like super stiff and not bend. It's probably how it will come. Well, let's take a better look at them. So yeah, it looks like he has the same piece that's on. Oh no, it is different. This is longer, so same concept that they use for. So the mask piece, the hood piece that goes up there, that is the same thing that they use on the Age of Apocalypse Colossus, and I think it works really well. It doesn't really pop out at all. A matter of fact, if you like the Age of Apocalypse Colossus, you can go to Ollie's and buy the whole wave for like $50, and that figure is worth like $50. Man, I still need to get a soundboard. Eventually, I will get a soundboard when we start making a little bit more money. So just looking at this figure, I'm really impressed. I like the green. I think it just works. He really does. He really works as a ninja, but that isn't a commando outfit. Where, Storm Shadow is clearly just a ninja. He doesn't really have any type of looking military vibe to him. I think this figure really looks good. The same way that Snake Eyes comes off looking like a ninja in some of his looks. But it looks good. You got the Wolverine claws. Hopefully they stay on well. That's my biggest fear, that they won't stay on very well. Or they fall over. Here you can see him hanging on. And this is one of those things that you wonder, like, is this thing just barely hanging on? Is there any sticky tack? Because I fear that those claws are too soft that they're not going to hold on to anything. Because we've seen that with a lot of the classified and how their weapons are, unfortunately. So here you have the Crimson Vipers in the back. I do like this. They do address, someone had asked in the Roundtable about figures in the dioramas, and they said any figures that you see, they are figures that are being produced. So if you catch one in the background of any of these dioramas, that is a figure that is going to be produced. So when people caught that Arctic bat, like, they knew what they were doing. Emily does talk about little Easter eggs. So here you can see they're all knocked down. He clearly did his best Bruce Lee. He's got 2 nunchucks now. I don't know how he ended up with 2 nunchucks because he had 2 swords out there. But I guess looking in the back here, you can see that the nunchucks are meant to bend. So finally, you'll have weapons that are meant to bend properly. And again, I like the armor on it. If you can move this, the headpiece, it's awesome. So yeah, I like that. I think this looks really good. So that's the end of that slide. And quickly, for your soundboard. But thank you, Anthony. Thank you very much. I have to get a soundboard. Listen, you can't do this all on your own. All on your own for so long and not have some. I hear nothing. And so I hear the fireworks, which I guess you guys all hear too. So thank you very much, Anthony, and to everyone else, anyone that's ever sent a super chat. super thanks, super sticker. I still don't understand the super sticker thing, but they have it. I do appreciate it. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Another one, thank you for soundboard. I feel like I should have like I feel like there should be some sort of like call like for the soundboard. Actually, I'll pitch in for the sound. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Like honestly, you guys are absolutely awesome. Every single one of you. Like you don't have to send a super chat for me to say you're awesome. Believe me, you guys are. Again, I'm here for three plus hours, and I enjoy it. And again, here we had an hour and 36 minutes, and we're just having a good old time. All by myself, talking to a bunch of other nerds, and we're getting new people like Leanne Hobbs. And that means zombies are coming. It does. Emily was very, very specific about saying, we love seeing you guys figure out and point out the Easter eggs. They want to see what people are noticing. I wouldn't be surprised if they watch this stream. They watch the full force. You know, they watch to see what people are talking about. It's awesome. Again, and that's what you should be doing. You know, you don't have to take advice from every one of us idiots, because let's be honest, we don't run a toy company or a brand because we don't know everything. But yeah, we do have some insight, and you do get to hear what people say. If they weren't following and listening to what the fans are saying, we'd probably still be getting, well, I take that back. They would have continued to give us probably the futuristic stuff, and then it would be gone. Like GI Joe would not have lasted. COVID, I miss COVID. I know people hate hearing that. I feel bad. Anyone that lost a loved one, or anyone that got sick. My ex got it 2 or 3 times. 2 times, really bad. My kids and myself, we were able not to. But during that time, in the age of my kids, we did so many things together. I miss COVID. I can't believe I'm going to say that, but it definitely did help out with toy collecting. All right. Quickly, Ray Pat says, Are we going to talk HasLab Dragonfly? God, I hope so. Hoping to keep some people jumping on board. Well, you just have to pay attention. Didn't they just do a whole bunch of promo shots? So, yeah. Okay. Firefly. Now, I was on with a toy kind of mood, God, six months ago or so. And, okay, so this is a very unpopular opinion. Futuristic was better. I'm going to say it's a very unpopular opinion. But what I will say is I did not hate the futuristic stuff. I didn't like the futuristic weapons. I didn't mind the line of where it was going. What I really do hope that they do, Super, is that I hope that once they're able to start, I hope that as they continue to do what they're doing now, they are able to go back and still update figures. Like where we can start to get some updated figures. Maybe not futuristic, but I don't think they were that futuristic. They needed to lose the gold and the silver. That I agree with. But the Cobra Trooper was awesome looking. The Firefly, I don't care. I like the Firefly. So you look at all those figures, they looked really good. But I was on with a toy kind of mood, maybe again 6 months ago or so. And I believe this was the number one figure that I was looking forward to. And I got to say, they didn't disappoint. This figure is really awesome. Now, it does look like, if someone knows where this is from, please post it, because I don't know. It's a hot dog stand in the back. He's clearly doing something explosive. Again, the artwork is wonderful. I absolutely love it. Here's everything that you get, and you are getting a nice loadout, I think. Updated backpack, updated submachine gun. I love the fact that now you're going to have a RC car, and if you have the Cobra Island Firefly, you're also going to have a drone to go with it. So I hope these colors match, because if they did, they're making it work the way that they should. And looking at the backpack, it is very close to what we were getting if you updated from the O-ring one. I like the goggles. Again, more goggles for Firefly, and they seem to pop right on his head very easily. So here's a better look at it. He's got some landmines. So again, if you mix and match the Cobra Island one and this one, you're gonna have so many accessories to go with. Sorry. Listen, I guess you have being on the inside joke, but I'm sorry, the picture just makes me laugh. And it took me extra work to do this because of how I have to do it to get it into this. So here's another shot of them. And again, this is like, if you pull the figure out, you said update him, update the O-ring, but make him look O-ring, this is it. So I'm extremely happy with how this figure looks. Here he is completely loaded out. Now I'm going to have this one. I'm also going to have the Mezco one. It's already paid for. So Mezco, feel free to send it anytime you want. It's already bought and paid for. You can hold off on the snake eyes because that one's not fully paid for. You can send the other ones though. You see the RC car. I think this really looks awesome. I did like the best on the CI Firefly. I'm going to use it for Tombstone. I don't remember anyone in Tombstone using that. Though, you know what? Morgan could have used that vest in Tombstone. That is for sure. While playing pool. This is what I'll say, Matthew and everyone else, about the Cobra Island one. I like the way that it looked, but when people talk about how he's supposed to be an explosive expert in getting in and getting out, it negates itself, because they turned him more into a bomb expert for defusing bombs, when in actuality he's running in there to drop the stuff off and explode things. So you're right, he's not going to be wearing something like that. But I just like that figure. I just think that it's a really good figure. This shot looks absolutely awesome. Anytime you get someone that is walking, and again, I think it's a lot easier when you're in dirt and stuff like that to get an action figure looking like they're walking. This is why I want like new O-rings to have a pivot. I don't need a rocker on the ankle, but give a pivot so it can move back and forth. Same with the wrists. This shot looks absolutely awesome. And I mentioned before, I know some people argued with me, it is really hard to get a lot of these figures to actually look like they're peeking through the scope. So if you hit them in the right shot, you know, photography wise, you can make it look like they're doing something that they're really not. Again, I don't really like the vision, the goggles, but I understand, and they actually do work. So I'm definitely not going to argue with it. Let's see. Jay says something. Let's see what Jay says. Mark Webber, when he ran GI Joe brand, was very big on introducing new characters into the GI Joe line. I wish Hasbro would do a little bit more. Okay. I want to address that quickly. I think, I hate getting off track, but Jay, I think one of the issues is, I think GI Joe was given a very, very, very short leash. And they were basing their stuff off that Operation Blackout video, which was not a good video game from what I understand. So they read everything, and people wanted remakes of the O-ring. And when they did that, it started blowing up. Because when you looked at the figures that came out of that original 2 or 3 waves, everyone was grabbing the figures that were closer to the O-ring. I think they want to do new figures. I think they're scared because the guys buying this stuff do not want it. GI Joe collectors, unfortunately, want what they had in the 80s, only in 6-inch scale. And that is why we're not seeing O-ring stuff, I think. It's not that big of a money maker. There are a lot of people that want it, but unfortunately, I don't think there's enough people. And we'll actually talk about that later on. Again, I don't have to work tomorrow, so we can go past midnight. So here he is in the dirt. I don't know if he's diffusing this. I mean, he just put it there, so I don't know what he's doing with his knife. Cobra Law. G.I. Joe has tons of characters. I don't want G.I. Joe to turn into Marvel, releasing 8 figures a week. I agree with that. I can't afford it. Right? Oh, yeah, people cried over Glenda. They will cry over new characters. Payment, stick around because we're going to discuss that. You are so right. Like, again, people get mad over certain things that I've mentioned before. Like, everyone hates all the Snake Eyes. Everyone hates all the Snake Eyes, but it's like, don't fucking buy it. If they weren't giving us new characters and new figures in the line, and it was just Snake Eyes after Snake Eyes and then like another Destro, they'd say, you know what, bitch all you want. But yeah, the way that I look at it is they're giving us new characters. So if I don't want it, boom, I don't care. No Faceless Master until I get a fucking Billy. Billy first, and then you can do the rest of the Arashikage. I don't care. No, actually, I would like that. Like those are the characters, yes, I do want to see. But, again, so Jay says here, yeah, you guys are probably right. They would have a fit over new characters. I'm just saying, when we were kids, we were excited to get new characters and new things every year. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. Listen, and I want you to understand, I'm not disagreeing with you. Sometimes, a lot of times, I try and look at things from what other people are saying. And I'll say it again. Everybody wants these fucking 6-inch figures. Let me explain something to you. On vehicles, they're going to sit there. Everyone just wants Hasbro to buy them on their dime or make them on their dime, and then they have the option if they want to buy it. And most of them won't. You know why? Because they're cheap bastards. Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy runs one of the big classified Facebook groups. He can probably tell you how much people sit there and whine and cry about shit. And Leanne says, as long as new characters are sick, to me, Shadow Tracker is new. Never heard of him, but he's one of the most. He's the one I'm looking forward to. He looks great. I can't read when I think on there, just so you guys know. There are so many characters to pull from. And again, I hope they do start. But I think they're going to have to do it small like they're doing now. Like, you've already heard people that are complaining about Helix. Like, all right, well, what's wrong with Helix? It's another female that isn't a repaint of someone. It's a completely new character, right? They've given us CoverGirl, Scarlet, and Lady J, and the Baroness and Zorana. They've given you the 5 main females, right? So, cool. Give us some new ones that were created. Don't get me wrong. I would like another classic Scarlet. And we're going to get it. We can obviously see it. So, okay. Let's get to the last set of slides that I have. And they released new photo shoots of the Dragonfly. And listen, if you don't want to buy this because it comes with a fucking female, then you're an asshole. That's all I have to say. they gave us a character that is well known to Joe fans. Now, maybe you had to do a little Google search, no big deal. But it is a character that you don't have to have in your line, that isn't hid behind the paywall. So that should make people happy. Pavement says, they basically say any female release is an Emily pick, and that's why they hate it. Yes. Pavement, I said it last week. People were so, or is it last week? I don't know. But people were so pissed about Glenda saying that it is Emily cramming her agenda down our throats. And then they say, Emily doesn't know anything about GI Joe and she shouldn't be on it. So my question is, well, what is it? Does Emily know nothing about GI Joe? Okay? Or does she know too much about GI Joe that she's giving us a female character that actually does exist in GI Joe? So what is it? She knows nothing or she knows too much? But you are right. You are right. Snow Wolf, nice to see you here. They can go HasLab type of figures, for more obscure ones, fund them, and they get made. Exactly. And that mold is going to be reused for Scarlet. It's all right. So anyway, let's get into this thing. These shots look absolutely awesome. I do believe Bobby B said he does not like blast effects. I understand some. I think the Valaverse blast effects for guns are awesome. They're small. Boom. I think the GI Joe blast effects for weapons are stupid. There's a couple nice ones, but like the Valaverse ones are really nice. But when you see, when you get that scrap iron blast effects, and when you can plug it into the bazooka, oof, we need that on those figures. So this shot here is absolutely awesome. Just everything lit up, the background. Everyone is going to be running and doing this picture probably the day they get it. Whether they're a photographer or not, whether they're using an iPhone 6 camera, it just looks awesome. I mean, it looks like you're just looking in the dark, like Batman, when it just lit up. And you're like, oh shit, man. I think this just looks awesome. Here you have Wild Bill and his 6 shooters. Again, realistically, I'd say 6 shooters are stupid, but it fits with the lore. I am glad that they are not crossed over and sitting on the thighs because it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, I do understand there is some controversy on the hat, where I guess Ron Rudat, who I believe designed this or was one of the designers on this, has a problem with the hat here. I'm not sure exactly what it is, if anyone knows, but I guess there were some issues, I believe, on either Facebook or something, where Ron Rudat said he didn't like it, and then someone attacked Ron Rudat, not knowing who Ron Rudat was. And I don't know what happened to the guy, but they were talking about a Toy Kind of Mood. So I don't know. Jay, listen, this thing will get, all the tiers will get backed because there will be FOMO on that last day. There is no doubt about it. I backed one of these. I'm hoping to unlock Glenda and that this thing gets more backers. I just couldn't order as many of these as I did the his time because it's not an army builder. Well, technically, it is an army builder. I mean, just not like the other one. So I guess since you have multiple hifts, you can do this. So looking at this here, it looks awesome. So you have one HISS tank who is clearly firing something. There is a blast effect in that cannon right there. You can see a HISS tank on the side over here knocked down along with a tread underneath it. And then you can see another one over here. And you have both missiles firing off of the wings. This looks awesome. This looks absolutely sick as hell. This is something I tried doing. If you saw the picture that I did with my 3D printed Skyhawk flying up against the Fortnite boat, but I didn't have a way to make it stand up without being sitting on something. So this was the idea that I was going for, and I think I might have even done it before then, before this came out. Not that it really matters. Here you have the rocket about ready to fire. Again, this all looks really good. Again, photographers can make bad things look good, let alone make great things look awesome. Let's see. So Leanne says, yeah, Ron commented on my post in our UK group saying he's not happy with the hat emblem. I didn't reply as I was just shocked he commented. You know what? I guess I can see that. But what is his issue with it? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm going to say in the last one. Yeah, we're really going to get into that. Yeah, we're really going to get into the roundtable. I have like 4 pages of notes, believe it or not. Again, I like the salsa. I know some people don't like it, Matthew. Here's the inside of it, all lit up. God, that looks absolutely awesome. I mean, seriously, that looks so damn sweet. I'm just like, just give it to me now. All right, I've already backed it. Give it to me. You can send it to Florida Disney. I'll pick it up there. I can't wait. Again, these shots look awesome. Here he is. I believe the Toy Kind of Mood said he's sharpening his glove with his knife. It's kind of a weird shot, but I let me tell you something. Doing pictures over here, especially with like these crates I have, getting figures to sit down when they sit perfect, I love it. There's something very natural about how it looks. So I love how he's sitting on the missiles. And here he's obviously making sure something is right. I love the detail that they put into the hatches here, so you can see the guns and everything. They did a really nice job with the Sky Striker. So, oops. Now, it was pointed out that in these shots, and I don't see any here. I must have missed some shots here, because there were other shots. This one right up here, one in the right corner here. So a lot of people, there's other shots too. There's other photos I didn't get. You see a steel core. He is not he's not going to be the 4th figure. They pretty much confirmed that. So he will not be the 4th figure. So let's get into the round table. Well, you know what? Hold on. Does anyone else have anything that they want to add to the HasLab? There's been a lot. I think Leanne actually went back to see what was actually said, because she said, hold up. I'm wondering if she went back to look. I think it's awesome that we can get a first-hand account of what happened. I hope there was lots of bickering, too. I love bickering. Bickering on social media. And what can be better, right? I wonder when they're going to drop pre-orders for those steel cord 2-packs. Next month is what my guess is. The Trouble Bubble, that would be my guess. I'm not going to confirm anything like a Viper Island. Japan. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see. Anthony says it's supposed to have 2 cross swords, not the other stuff underneath. Look at his hat. Well, let's see here. Well, it's hard for me to say. I'm sorry for me to see. I guess I don't understand. I mean, it's Ron Rudett. He's the one that designed it. But Lenny does really talk about this in the round table. So, again, if you ever back this and you want it, back it. All right? You don't get charged for the. If you can't afford it, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, there's no shame in saying that you can't afford a $300 toy. There really isn't. If you don't like it, if you don't think it's worth it, if you're like Mr. Wonderful and you don't like the fact that a billion-dollar company does crowdfunders, then I understand. I'm okay with that. But if you're holding off because you want to see what the third tier is, or you're mad that they gave you this, well, you know what? You're part of the problem. Leanne quickly says here, his comment's gone, but I remember him saying the saber swords shouldn't be crossed or something. I don't recall anyone replying to him, but they may have done after I'd seen the comment. Yeah, I don't know where. I also don't know where it was found, but I know they talked about it and that there was some big thing. Alex, nice of you to join us. All right. Yeah, something about the swords underneath. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, it's GI Joe. There's a lot of things that aren't right, but all right. So let's get into the roundtable. So this is the topic, and there's a lot to talk about. And when I gotta go with the topic, listen, you do this every week. You kind of gotta think of topics. I find those are the best driven shows. And I really wanted to break things down because there's a lot of stuff that got posted that when I heard it, I was like, that's not really what was said. So Airborne will be a mainline release. He will not be the part of the fourth tier. They were very adamant that he was in the works before the Dragonfly was even. So we will get him before we get the Dragonfly. So anyone that was hoping that it would be Airborne or that we would see Airborne as the fourth tier, well, that's been nixed. Now, it does kind of lead me to believe that there is an Airborne coming. That what I said is I could see this being the reel in the back, I don't know if he's or in the front, the gunner in the front, that it could still be him in an Airborne uniform, but with a slightly different face sculpt, and that way they can say, hey, this is who the gunner always was. So Airborne is coming, which means we can lose this figure as our Airborne placement holder. Just so you know. I know. People are going to get mad at me. I'm taking shots at Valiverse, saying Condor looks like Airborne, and it's not true. Yeah, even though so many people have said it. I know, it's a joke, but before anyone wonders, in Brazil, I believe, Airborne's name was Condor. So if you think that he's original with this figure, which just happens to look slightly like this figure, understand he was called Condor elsewhere. It's not me taking shots, it's me pointing out a fact. All right. I just wanted to before people start getting mad at me about it, okay? So they said, they talked about, they know what people are saying with the campaign is stalling. And Emily really wanted to be Condor is Glenda's brother. So does this mean that we're getting a Glenda in Action Force 2? I actually really do mean that. Is this true? I mean, I don't know. I've never read the file card. Yes, and knowing is half the battle. Let's see here. Airborne shouldn't have been named Airborne. Airborne assault from a helicopter is not the same as Airborne, stupid. Just call me Spoon. Well, Airborne was in the original artwork, and that's why everyone assumed that's who it would be. So I fully understand. All right, so they discuss how everyone says that it's starting to stall the HasLab, and they're really adamant to say this is how all the HasLabs go. Understand this: the Hiss tank is the anomaly; it's not the norm. HasLabs are not going to blow up the way that they did. They're still moving perfectly fine, and we all know the last day, even the Rancor had a huge burst. So come the last 2 or 3 days, it is going to start to shoot up, and we will more than likely, I'm not going to say we will for sure, because if we don't, then I'll never hear the end of it. But more than likely, we are going to hit that 19,000 and get all the figures. Because you also got to think, independent toy stores, they're also going to order 5, 10, whatever they can get, so they can turn around and they can sell them, especially knowing those figures are probably going to go for like $100 each. So they are well aware that it has slowed down, but they've already hit their goal. They've already unlocked the first tier. They also discussed that they know that people don't want blast effects, that they tried to work everything into the main package of that helicopter, and that people want action. They want figures as the unlocks. So I would say going forward, we're going to find that we're not going to get extra accessories and blast effects, stuff like that go on the vehicle. They're already going to come. That's going to be one whole package. Again, these are things that even the Hasbro team, when they did their HasLab for the Ghost Rider, they put everything in it. So everything was in that package. Unfortunately, again, I'm not going to give the price of that. So the next is eels. Even Lenny asked. So eels, there will be more eels. Now, I did not realize this because Lone Dragon, the other channel member, he's usually not here, but Lone Dragon had mentioned numerous times he's in Canada. He kept talking about how he hopes he can get some, but since they made it a Pulse exclusive, I did not realize in Canada they did not put this on Amazon. So if you're in Canada, you weren't able to get this on Amazon, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So yeah, so there were more eels. Don't worry. Again, I think I'll mention this again. I do not like attacking Emily for how she looks, for her weight. I know people do that. This is something where you can say, as the brand manager, who's that marketing manager, she's the one who needs to step up and say, no, this should not be an Amazon exclusive. It could be a fan channel exclusive, but something like Snake Eyes, the Desert Snake Eyes, that can be an Amazon exclusive because people don't need it. That's something where you can criticize her, in my opinion. They did talk about how classified pulls from Real American Hero, but it's not the exact same. So they try and pull from it, and then they trying to adjust it. They try and make it look a little bit more modern. They try and make it look a little bit more aggressive. They specifically talked about that with the Dragonfly. They said in the Hiss, they addressed that to try and make the lines look more aggressive. So there was a little talk like that. Lenny discussed that type of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot that was discussed in that. I don't think that's anything that's too that it's too crazy. Okay, she may not pick where the exclusives go. I don't know exactly what it, but if she's the marketing, I would assume that she should have some say to say, to go to the higher ups. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a $1 billion company. I understand how that works. It is corporation. And I have never seen you before, Spindle. Thank you for showing up. If you are Emily or Lenny or someone on the marketing team, thanks for watching. Again, I think you can criticize her because, in my opinion, it seems like she would be the one that would be able to discuss that or address that. But again, I understand this is a corporation, unlike some place like Valiverse, where he picks like, hey, I want BBTS. I'm talking specifically with them. They're going to get this exclusive. I understand how the corporations work. It is, unfortunately, it's awful. Like, again, they want to put stuff out. The Hiss should be here by fall. Early fall is what they're looking at. There's some things that I may cross over that I may mix up because they did 2 different panels with like 3 guys on one and then 3 guys on the second half. So some of the questions get re-asked because they don't know what they discussed. I don't know why they did it like that. But they did say they should be here in the fall. Then I believe when they were on the second half, they said it's pretty much like it's like one wave with a big vehicle. So if one thing's wrong, if there's a figure that's wrong, it's going to take longer to get done. Now, I have to say, the fact that two of the figures are the same figure, just painted differently, and the one's a female, it probably shouldn't be that difficult. But I think that Cobra Commander, and they addressed it, they know that there was problems with the HasLab. So Emily starts to say they know there were issues with the Sky Striker HasLab, and she starts to talk about it, and then I believe it's the guy from his tank cuts her off, and she never finishes what she was saying, which really disappointed me because it sounded like she was about to go down the road of explaining, yeah, we know there was issues, and we knew, there were certain things, and it never got discussed because she got cut off, and they never backtracked to it. So, listen, this thing is like an hour and 45 minutes. I watched it twice. I watched it once, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be the topic, so I had to watch it again and write stuff down. So I heard some people I really don't like Top Shelf Terry. God, that guy is such a pompous asshole. I'm sorry, I just couldn't keep it in anymore. I haven't even got to him yet. So yeah, she was about to, I think, go off on how they know what the issues were. They talked about how it's being handled at retail. They said the retail partners really love the brand. So I don't think we need to worry about this not being there. We may not be getting what we want all the time and as much, but again, it's going to be there. It's going to be there for sure. Let's see. They be asking some stupid questions like when the his tank shipping. Yeah. Unfortunately, there were some cuts that they have to put their questions in ahead of time. That's kind of what bothers me in many ways. Where again, if you talk to someone like, listen, I have my issue with how Bobby Bala handles a lot of things, but he says you can ask me whatever you want. If you're going to have me on here, I'm not going to say, give me these questions. Now, I understand when you're a corporation, there's certain things they can't answer, like why can't we get Hooded Cobra Commander? Well, Hasbro just hung them off to dry and not to let them answer that one. And again, there is a reason why we're not getting Hooded Cobra Commander. We're probably going to address that in the topic because, slow days. But you talk about the retail partners. They really do enjoy it, and that they want it. But like they said, all that stuff. I hate to say this. If you go back and watch the Guru, Scott Knightlick, the Guru, he talks about planograms, and he talks about how companies are specifically renting footage in stores. So anything that you see for GI Joe, that footage is rented out by Hasbro. Same with Marvel Legends, Star Wars, McFarlane. And the fact that people were giving them a chance when this has been a dead brand, it says a lot. And they know how much it's selling. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, I go to Target and I see those Crimson Bats. Well, shut up. You know what? Not everything's going to sell right away. But for the most part, I mean, if something sits on the shelf for like 2 weeks, people are like, it's, everyone's like, oh, it's a peg warmer. Back in the day, they had these things called toys. They actually used to sit on pegs, and we as kids would go buy them. It's crazy. Anyway, she talked about the product being shifted and going back to the delays, the pandemic, but she specifically did say there's a lot of stuff that got shifted to fall because of the pandemic or the shipping issues. Listen, if you don't think that there's distribution issues in everything, it still exists. I don't know why it does, but it still exists in everything. Or else we'd be able to get our copy machines in a timely manner like we should have. But things are going to get pushed out. So expect stuff that we were supposed to get a while back to be coming. Yes, buddy. Hold on. You want to go outside? Okay. Let me call one of the kids. All right. So accessory packs were asked about. They continue to say they cannot talk about future releases. They said there is no. They said that there is nothing yet in the works, and they're working all the way through 2025. So understand, Viper Island, who continues to tell us that this line is dead and that people are jumping out, they are working up through 2025, at least through 2025. Bobby Valla, again, I really like when you watch him and he talks about the production and how things, how long it takes to make things, because he is a very straight shooter on a lot of things. You get an idea of how far along we are. Scott Nylick, he talked the same thing. That's why he keeps saying. That's why he continued to say that the Master Universe line, the Origins line, everything was going to die. But they produced this stuff, or they've already designed this stuff years out. Again, I think he's full of it when it comes to Motu being dead. How I think Mattel's going to keep Motu alive just to piss that guy off. But they're working on it. Now, why we haven't got accessory packs, something like this, I think that this as a Pulse exclusive to give us the weapons that came with those first few waves would do wonderful. They have, Roadblock's gun and Duke's gun, which is already produced. Snake Eyes' Uzi, everything like that, to have those guns and with a slightly different shade, awesome. Awesome idea. You put it on Pulse and you're going to make a whole bunch of money. And Hasbro loves money, so I don't know. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Let's see here. Cobra says, I saw a youngster with his dad looking for GI Joes for his birthday at Walmart. It was nice to see the youngster looking for Joes. It is. It's great. It makes us think of us as a kid, but I think we all know that it's more for us. SDCC, or the SDCC, be more digital reveals, more pre-orders, along with the SDCC exclusive, which I believe it has not been confirmed, but it pretty much has said that people have already said that it looks like it's going to be the Crimson, I don't know if they call it the Strike Team, so Crimson Baroness and the Crimson Twins in Crimson. That's what it's looking like it's going to be. I just hope we're able to get it. They said it will go up the same as before. So they talked about the SDCC 100 Hasbro 100 celebration. They would not talk about it, but they said to tune in. So it looks like there will be something with the Hasbro 100. Probably has something to do with the 12-inch figures. Would be my guess. Maybe even an exclusive 6-inch that looks like a 12-inch. It's hard to say. I had a Master versus Toy Hunter. It's okay. Everyone understands what's going on, man. So hope everything's getting better for you, man. Thought the PulseCon exclusive was Crimson Team. I'm not sure if. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. So PulseCon exclusive, because they didn't say what it is. You're right. So yeah, as Chaz is saying, yeah. So the Chuckles Armory is supposed to be the SDCC exclusive. The PulseCon is supposed to be, at least that's what the rumor is, the Crimson Strike Team. So yes, you guys are correct. Again, I'll be wrong. So the O-ring is at rest. And I forgot. So some of the pictures that I picked up were from 3D Joe's. The airborne picture was from 3D Joe's. I just want to give him credit. I know he works hard on that. I didn't see a tag on there. These are actually from Toy Habit. So I want to give people credit. It's crazy. You give people credit and they like you. Or they don't like you. I don't know. They specifically talked about this. Now, this was one of the things that kind of prompted me to want to talk about this because there are a lot of people that are really mad about the O-ring, and everyone just said, yep, they just said it's at rest. And they didn't really want to address the issue. And I think they want to address it because they can't say what it is. So the O-ring is at rest for now. They said there's things behind the scenes that pretty much ended it. They did that Sky Striker because they had planned on having an O-ring line. That is why they did these figures. So they did plan it. My best guess is upstairs told them it's not making money. So nix it. You're making money with your classified. We've only given you so much of a budget. Use that. I know there's a lot of O-ring collectors. I still collect some of the O-rings. But it's not as big as people think. I know there's a lot of people doing O-rings for Kickstarters, but I truly do believe it's the same people buying those. Hasbro wants to make millions, not thousands. So let's say Matthew and I decide that we're going to start our own O-ring line, right? We may make a few $1,000s off it, right? $10,000, $20,000 off it. Well, that might be a lot of money to us, but for Hasbro, in my opinion, that's not a lot to them. They want to make millions. So I think that they got the call from above saying it's not making the money. I know people want it. I know it is the history in the lore, but it's cut. Like, maybe we can come back to it later. If you do notice, if you go to Hasbro Pulse and you look for GI Joe, you will not find, at least I didn't, maybe they changed it, you don't find the Transformers over there, you find it on the Transformer side. I think that is the Transformers coming down, doing that crossover. So it's great that they're doing the O-ring, but I think it's on the Transformer side more than the GI Joe side. But again, Hasbro wants to make millions of dollars. They are all about money. That's what corporations are, all right? Every now and then, they can do something that they know not going to make money or make a little bit of money. Dodge, Chrysler, right? The Viper. It doesn't make a lot of money. Well, it didn't. They actually cut it. The SRT line, it does it, but it brings people in to buy other stuff. They didn't need the O-ring anymore. They got the O-ring collector collecting classified. Let's see here. Jay said, what makes no sense to me, they will give Super 7 the license to make reaction figures that they won't take the chance of putting their own O-rings figures at Target and Walmart for a lower price. They did. They did the 4-inch figures. They didn't sell that well. They did it at Target or at Walmart. It didn't sell that well. Go to Target. Those reaction figures are sitting there. Go on Target's website. You can get them on clearance. You can get them marked down. Yes, you and I know that they're not selling because they're 5 points of articulation. Bullshit. But the Hasbro and the uppers, they look at it and they go, yep, reaction's not selling. We're going to have to charge more than that because ours aren't 5 points. Although they could have done a 5 points of articulation for $10, just like the Marvel Legends stuff did. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, but would the O-rings actually sell? I don't know if they would, but they did have a plan when they did the Sky Striker. They had from everything that it sounded like, and you got to read between a lot of the lines, you know, they were trying. Roman, stop. I think they wanted to have 2 lines, like Star Wars has 3 lines. You know, Star Wars has 3 lines. It makes sense because their original line was 5 points of articulation. People still collect 5 points of articulation for Star Wars because it matches. That's why people want the O-ring. So, Big said they might as well have 0 POA, 5 point. Well, again, like I mentioned it before, no one other than Brian Flynn says he likes 5 points of articulation more than the O-ring. People want to sit there and say like, oh, I want Super 7 to start doing the O-ring, but G.I. Joe owns the patent. No, they don't. Brian Flynn specifically said, yeah, we talked about doing an O-ring, but that's Hasbro's thing. And personally, I've always liked 5 points of articulation better. No, you didn't. You're a liar. All right. Okay, they talk about other HasLabs. And now this was something that people talked about, and they said, okay, so they talked about other HasLabs. The Rolling Thunder came up again, but pretty much got Nick saying it's just too big. Lenny pretty much said it is too big. And when you look at the HasLab, you have to say, how is it going to fit on a shelf? Can you make it thinner even if it's long? That's where you get the Dragonfly from. So you do have to look at space and all that other stuff. So yeah, it is one of those things where the Rolling Thunder, which I don't want, but again, I think the GI Joes, I think those are harder to do a HasLab, because you have to have something where you can swap stuff out, or else you're just going to give something very basic. They talked about a Night Raven and a Tomahawk. They said they looked at the Tomahawk, it's just too big. I said the same thing, but if you made a Tomahawk where, let's say, it's to scale of the Chinook for an O-ring, but then you can swap out parts to make it classified, and then it'd be scaled to be a classified, you could get away with it. But again, so Jay says, I think they put them at mass retail and made them like $12 or $13. They would do okay. I think the problem with Walmart exclusives was they were modern figures instead of O-ring. Again, you have to look at it from Hasbro's point of view, not from your point of view, or what a small amount of collectors want. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have to look at it from their eyes. And again, one company is about making billions of dollars, and that's what they want to do. And I don't think there's no other O-ring figures out there. Like, kids don't know what the fucking O-ring is. There's only so many of us still alive. And honestly, I don't want the same ones over and over and over. I don't. I want something new. So they talked about the Night Raven, and they said, hey, you know what? Could we scale it down? Would that bother people? It would really piss off people. You can't scale down a Night Raven. It would look like that one from the movie, which I have 2 of. It looks decent, but it doesn't look like a Night Raven. So this was another thing that really bothered me. People sat there and said they talked about how they're going to do other vehicles, or how they might do other vehicles. And they did say that they talked about it. Quickly before we go, why are people hooked up? Because people like stuff that they had from their childhood. When you have a huge collection of O-ring figures, and that's what you grew up on, and you have a whole world that is created around it, you have a flag, you have a terror drone, you have a Defiant. You want new figures to add into that. That's why people still want the O-ring. But I just don't think there's that many of us left. But that's the reason why people want it. Again, so many people think like, well, you can only have one. You can't. You can like multiple lines. So that's the reason why people want the O-ring. It's not dead, but it is on life support. There's a lot of other brands that are doing the O-ring. But again, I think you're just seeing the same people back those Kickstarters. That's why I say Hasbro looks at it going, there's thousands of dollars in it, not millions of dollars. So anyway, back to what I was saying. They talked about, like, would people be willing to buy new vehicles, new designed vehicles, right? And I say no, they won't be. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't. Well, again, this is where the problem comes. And I did the whole topic. Like, toys aren't made just for you. Like, everyone likes different things. You know, I like the Dodge Viper. I like Dodges. I like Chrysler products. You know, I wish foreign cars weren't here. All right, I said it. I wish fucking foreign cars weren't here. It put so many people out of fucking work and in business in fucking Detroit and in Michigan. All right, I fucking hate foreign cars, but I've accepted that they're there because people want them. All right, that's why the O-ring still exists, because everyone likes different types of things. Yes, and Matthew says, everyone hit that like button. I have no idea how many likes we have. And I don't want to get off on a rant because I don't want to have like a battle here, Jeffrey, because hey, you know what? I like classified more than O-ring right now because I've collected the O-ring. I don't want the same figures over and over. But I definitely do like adding that collection. And you can world build better in O-ring. I don't care what you say. What anyone says, you cannot have a flag in 6-inch scale. Back to the 6-inch vehicles, new ones. I don't think people would buy new ones. They would not buy new stuff. These GI Joe collectors are just so stuck in the past, and they want the exact same mold and mod as before. And I understand it to a point because I like the classified design of where they're at. But I just don't think, I think people would revolt. They'd riot. They'd get so mad about it. Jay quickly says, yeah, that's what makes your podcast interesting because we talk about all this stuff. Thank you very much. That actually means a lot. And I want to say hi to Hurricane Live. I don't want Valor Venom or quarter vehicles. I hate those. Plenty of 80 vehicles to give a modern. Okay, see? That's exactly it. I'm not disagreeing with you completely, because I think there are a lot of vehicles, but one of the issues becomes space. I don't think that many collectors want 6-inch vehicles. They talked about that coil bike. All right, first off, the coil bike is ugly. It is stupid. If they made a bike that worked, I'd be okay with it. But it looks awful. We are going to get small vehicles. But again, people want a vamp. That vamp would be in the $100 range. People aren't going to buy it. It'll sit on shelves if it ends up in retail. You know what it will sit like? It'll sit there like all the Motu stuff. I don't know how many. I say it over and over. I bang my head against the wall. Motu stuff sits there for $33. $30, people won't buy it until it goes on clearance. Me included, right? Because I know it's going to get clearanced. TIE Fighter. Snowspeeder. You ever see the TIE Fighter? I think it's fucking huge. It's goddamn gargantuous. All right? You can't fit it anywhere. I think people want the option to buy vehicles. They won't when they start seeing how much they take up. I have a 3D printed Skyhawk. It's almost as big as what the hiss is going to be. 2 3D printed hisses. They take up so much space. You know, I have a polar bear that was 3D printed. I haven't even shown you guys the polar bear because I don't have any still figures to go with it. You know, again, I want, you know, that's what I want. Listen, my idea for a HasLab is to do a Terradrome that is only half of the Terradrome, right? And you can put it against the wall, right? So you have half the Terradrome, you put it against the wall, so it relieves some space, and you only have half of it. But since it's 6-inch scale, it sticks out. But if you buy 2 of them, you can put them together, and then you have your 6-inch scale, and it comes with the fire bat no matter what. And then it can actually open up. I know it sounds kind of crazy to say, why would you put it against the wall? But you just make it so you're creating space. So people could create a HasLab. But then if you buy 2 of them, they are made to connect together. Hasbro, you can use that idea. Although if you want to send me money, I'd be more than happy. Random diarrhea. Isn't the flag around 7 feet? That's for the 3.75 inch scale 2. That would be 11 feet long. Okay, one, it would be longer. It's 7.5 feet long. I may know because I may have one in my basement. I have a childhood one. Random, you must be new. If you don't know the... Yes, I have my childhood one. It's 7.5 feet long. Lenny said that they would be, if it was classified scale, it would be about 25 feet. I know people think, well, that doesn't make sense, but it does because you have to understand classified figures do not articulate the same way as the small O-rings. You can't wiggle them into certain places. And you'd also have to have planes to go on. Why would we want a flag if I don't have planes? All right, so anyway. So they did talk about that. A lot of people said, hey, you know what? They're talking about that they're going to do other vehicles. They discussed it. And they said, maybe if we put it out there, people have ideas, but I don't think anyone would do anything new. That's just kind of crazy. So let's see here. Oh, and then Lenny talked about, before Classified came out, he and another designer looked at vehicles, and they even got like very zany, but there was just too out of there. When he said other designer, it made me wonder if he was talking about Bobby. Because Bobby had specifically talked about, Bobby Vella talked about how he had a whole line that was ready to go. So I do wonder if he was talking about Bobby. Other designers that may actually say their name. Okay. They talked about a new video game. Someone asked about the new video game. They cannot talk about other media. They are specifically the toy brand. So comics, video games, that's stuff they cannot talk about. It's kind of disappointing. But if you remember, like the first year of Hasbro, they tried showing off other stuff, and people threw a fit when they did like the GI Joe streams for an hour. And people got mad and cried because they were showing video games and the card game, and didn't realize, like, people don't realize, like, it's Hasbro. They own G.I. Joe, where they don't own Marvel, Star Wars, so they don't talk about that stuff. Someone has to put it out in the media. It's going to be Hasbro. So they said there are more hands coming. They did ask about that. They said, yep. They said, that's an easy question. Yes. So there will be more hands coming with more figures, which is good. That's been a huge complaint of people. Again, I don't need 8 hands with every single figure. But they have some figures that they can cross over. That would be awesome. They just can't all have tattoos on them or have gloves, because then it doesn't work. Unfortunately, a lot of their the joints for the hands are going to be different, so that kind of sucks. Oops, let's see here. What did Ray say? Plus, he said he offered a different colors. Let's see if he keep. Let's see here. Why paint it when we can leverage what we want? I don't know. Switch stuff to me. Switch fast. Sorry, guys. Yes, this is my first time here. Heard about you from Hella Dope. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm not. The story of the flag, it'll get told eventually. The story of shipwrecks, it will be told. All right. So they would not confirm that the retro line is coming back, but they definitely did say that they like the line. And they will not say stuff, but they will hint at stuff. They will insinuate stuff. They said they like the line, so they hinted that it probably will be coming back. And Matt O'Brien, thank you. Happy Monday. Sorry I'm late, but glad to be here. Thank you for the super chat. It is always, always appreciated. Again, I cannot say that enough. Again, I don't know if I say that more than other creators, content creators, but if you guys send me super chats or members, whatever, again, I cannot say thank you enough. And sometimes it sounds like I'm just being redundant. So retro cards will be coming back in some shape or form. I don't really care about the retro cards, to be honest. I like the fact that they gave us a better looking Gung Ho. And I actually think some of the retro cards figures are better. And I kind of like Storm Shadow better. I don't like the eyebrows on Destro, but CoverGirl, not CoverGirl, Lady J has a better paint to it. So some of the figures actually do look better. So they're doing a good job with that. Leanne says, "Oh, I'm off to sleep, guys. I'm knackered out. It's nearly 5 a.m. Night off." Well, thank you for joining us. Again, I love when I'm able to get other people from around the world. And you are absolutely welcome here anytime that you want. Your pictures are absolutely wonderful. If you are not following her on Instagram, you need to. She does absolute wonderful photography. And if you bitch at her because she puts a Cobra and a Joe together, she'll tell you to fuck off. She'll say it nicer than that, but I'll tell you to fuck off for her. All right. Mindbender and Serpentor are done. So we won't be getting these anymore. These were the SDCC exclusive and the Comic-Con exclusive. They're the Pulse exclusive. Always. Again, I'm happy to have all of you, but I'm especially happy to have you here. And everyone else, obviously. Real quickly, I want to see what 2 of my 5 Arctic bats have to be exchanged. Had some bad paint apps and arm separation. Hoping the replacements are good. Hey, listen, my Arctic bats are super loose. I have all kinds of issues. I'm as much as I think that thing looks awesome, I am so disappointed in it. So disappointed. All right, so they said that these ones are done. They said they have discussed doing different versions of them. One of the guys cried about, maybe you could have one with the Cooper symbol on the back of Mindbender. Man, the shit that people get pissy about. God damn, so Dr. Mindbender doesn't have a fucking Cobra symbol on the back of his fucking cape. Get over it. Anyway. Whew. But I can see them, they're going to do different versions. They did say they made 4 times as many of these as they did of Zartan. So they know how much this line is growing. And for the most part, Hasbro can't deny what the hell they are doing. Hasbro just kind of has to suck it up. Like, all right. It's almost like Hasbro didn't want this line to succeed. I know they'd never say that, but it is almost how it feels in some ways. But it is succeeding. It is outperforming anything that they had ever forgotten. Great Pass says, "Oh my God, my neighbors must be like, what the fuck is this guy watching?" I don't think it's money left on the table because they're just going to produce another one. And you do have to give some sort of exclusives. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, and believe me, they're going to give us more. They're going to give us another Mindbender. There's different versions of Mindbender to do, and different versions of Serpentor to do. So they are going to give it to us. I understand what you're saying, but so that's the end of that one. So if you didn't get it, you're out of luck. Glenda here. So if you look at the harness here, they specifically talk about how she does come with this harness. Now, I don't think people noticed, I know I didn't, that this harness here that you see under Flash's gun here, it is not the same harness as she's wearing. So this harness here, from what I can understand, is specifically made to go on any female or male figures, and it will hook to the to the cable. So they specifically made this. They would not confirm Flash or anything, but they said you can, read between the lines. You can see that it's there. Top Shelf Terry was like, some of this. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna try not to. I don't know who the guy is. He came off like a pompous asshole. From what I could hear, if you watch it, maybe someone will feel differently. But Terry seemed like a pompous asshole. And if any of you guys are sports fans, all I could think of was the one guy going off, some little kid going off on Terry at the manager of, I think, the Phillies years and years ago, just calling him out. Anyway, I was so bothered. I had to listen to it twice. Sometimes I gotta stop myself. So they did talk about this a little bit. Again, they pretty much insinuated that yes, it's Flash's stuff. You probably will be getting Flash. They talked about the harness. They're specifically made to fit on both the males and the females. They pointed out, some people pointed out that this is the buck of Scarlet. So yeah, they wouldn't say anything about it. But yeah. Yes, but he's a military historian who collects Joes. He made it perfectly clear that he's a military historian. I didn't understand the purpose of it. These are GI Joes. Seriously, other than that, they are Army, Navy, and Marines, and Air Force, and Coast Guard. There ain't no other fucking Army about this shit. Nothing military about it. Man, don't get me fucking wound up on that. Listen, you guys need to go watch it. But anyway, so that's Glenda. They're pretty sure we're going to hit it. Lenny's a little more pessimistic. Emily is more optimistic that, hey, you know what, we're going to hit everything. I think we're going to hit everything. But again, for the G.I. Joe team, they're able, they made a comment how, it's much better than waiting 45 days like for the did for the Sky Striker. But yeah. So that's Glenda there. Then they get to the name reveal. Now, right off the bat, on the other panel, the first one they revealed Airborne. The second one that they revealed was the HISS tank, the 788 fire team. So it is for the HISS tank. It's a 3-pack, and they said that it's going to fit color-wise in with the HISS tank. So I'm hoping for me that it will fit well with like the 3D printed ones that I have. I'm going to assume that they're going to be some of the other colors. That's just my guess. They know everyone wanted those other colors, and they are going to made. They're going to be made. They're Paul's exclusives, and they're going to be made so anyone can get them, not just the backers of the HISS tank. So everyone's going to be able to get it. No one has no idea has anyone what it's going to look like. The fire team, I'm curious to see what it looks like. I am too. And again, I think that they're going to use cues, probably 2 male bucks and 1 female buck. Again, who knows? But it's going to be very interesting. But they said it is going to go with your HISS team. So it is made specifically to go with that team. So I think that is awesome. And again, I think that's a good thing that they can do. Because I know a lot of people are upset that they can't get the HISS because there's the HasLab, but that's kind of the whole purpose of it. They did say the steel core is not the 3rd tier. So when the guy did the pictures, he grabbed a steel core figure and he had him in the gunner position. It made everyone automatically jump to the conclusion that that was going to be the last unlock. They said it is not the last unlock. It was just a figure that. So they made sure to clarify that nope, there's not going to be one of the steel core. And I was talking to Bobby B, and I really didn't care. I don't really care. I didn't care too much about those steel cores. Personally, I look at the Valiverse Steel Brigade, and I just think it is a better sculpt and a better look. But when I saw the steel core in those pictures, I was like, man, that is actually really, really sharp. So don't need to worry about that. Lowlight's artwork, they're in the back, they have the Valkyries. They did confirm that. And that is when she talked about anything that you see in the dial shots, like figures, those are real figures. They are not kit bash. They're not figures that we won't be making. They are all figures. So yeah. Yeah, they said all new troops, but they didn't say all new sculpts. Again, as Emily says, sometimes you got to read between the lines, and I could be completely wrong, but I have a feeling these are army builders, and I think what we're going to see is some sort of repaint. I mean, that's how these companies come up with more money to create new figures, and especially if it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. The one that better be a new sculpt is the Baroness, because she needs a new sculpt, because the one that came with the coil is not that great. Yeah, so on low light, again, anything that we see in the back, those Easter eggs, and they specifically talk about how we see those Easter eggs, and they are looking to see who spots the Easter eggs. Yeah, so SDCC exclusives, PulseCon exclusive. There'll also be more Famazon exclusives. That's what she calls the exclusives that go to like stores, EE, BBTS, and Amazon, and more pre-orders. So once again, we are going to get hammered with stuff. We're at the end here. The SCCC panel, there will be 2 special guests. My guess is one will be Ron Rudat, and the other one will be Larry Hama. Just throwing it out there. I do believe Larry Hama said that Joe Fest was his last Joe Fest. But SDCC, if he's finishing up doing like his tours of going to like cons and stuff, I mean SDCC with the new comic coming out would be perfect. And then Ron Rudat, considering he did some of the artwork and he's so known. They said the plastic packaging is coming back in 2024. And the last thing was, someone had asked for his birthday, could you tell us, or could you let us hint at what number 100 is supposed to be? Emily thought that she had told us. And what 100 is the Ron Rudat, his tactician. So 99, 100, 101 will be all the figures from the line, but the tactician, which is Ron Rudat, and his artwork, that will be 100. So that is the one reason why I think he's going to be there. They're going to have an actual production hiss there, along with the Dragonfly. So how awesome is it going to be? You know they're going to have a display of a production hiss going up against the Dragonfly. So I'm looking forward to everything. My accounts are not looking forward to anything. I'm still trying to figure out how I can tell my kids that we aren't going to go to Disney and Universal and go on vacation so I can buy more GI Joe stuff. I just don't think that's going to fly. I can see Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, I can see Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, he's making his rounds right now. I don't really want it. Again, Glenda has double elbows. It looks like, yes, yeah. These are completely new. This is a completely new sculpt. This is probably the same sculpt that the Valkyries are, to be honest. Just with a different arm, because obviously those gauntlets are different, or whatever you want to call them, but the gauntlets are different. You can see the throwing stars that are on there. So this is just, again, you just pop the head off. Baldylocks actually did a nice color rendition of how Scarlet would look like this. Again, if they put Scarlet on this, people throw a fit, and I don't blame them. I mean, I'd throw a fit too if it was Scarlet. I don't want a retro Scarlet behind the paywall. You want nice looking figures. So, but anyway, whew. All right. So that was there's a lot. And here we are at the end. Oh, 3 hours. I've talked a lot. I get a headache. I'm out of breath. Jay says, I bought 2 Arctic bat from Canada. Only issues I ran into was you can't get the arms all the way up into the T-pose. Everything else is fine. T-pose, that is I don't know what they did. Or you can actually, if you look at it to the back, if you look at it, you can see that it's cut shorter than the other ones. And I don't know why. Mine is super wobbly. The chainsaw does not fit in the into the backpack. It just falls down. You cannot use the chainsaw on any of the other figures. The chest piece. So if you have one, if you have the crimson bat, take that crimson bat, put the snow head on it, and then take a little bit of sticky tack and put that new vest or new chest piece on the crimson bat, and the grays match up perfect, and it looks absolutely awesome. So much so that I'm going to have to eventually go back and get a second crimson one just so I can have one that looks like that, because it looks absolutely awesome. So I'm really stoked on that. Well, you've never seen snow before anyway, living in Arizona, so why do you need an Arctic bat or a snow job? Living in the desert, you have no rain. Probably don't even know what an umbrella is, other than to stop the sun from burning your bald white head. Matt says here, I think they will reveal an upcoming mainline vehicle at SDCC. I love to hear the vamp is coming. So one thing that was mentioned was, okay, so Lenny had mentioned that there are ports for blast effects in the HISS tank. So watch for things to come. Now, I'm going to assume that the same size that you can use that the scrap iron uses. The only difference is that the HISS uses laser blast. So those blast effects won't look right because you wouldn't be firing a missile out of it. There's also the issue of the tow hook. What are you going to tow? There's something you have to tow. But you can't, in my opinion, you can't give us a towable and not give all the people that didn't get the HISS a non-vehicle to tow the towable. So what are you going to do? The vamp, in my opinion, if you are going to do a vehicle, the vamp is the one that makes the most sense. There's Vamp Mark II, and the Stinger. Those are the 3 basic ones. I know people will mention the Dreadnought one and some of the other things. Those are the 3 that, in my opinion, there you have the chassis. You can change things out, do new things. It's just one of those things. That's where I think you would go. But again, are people going to buy it? Hasbro wants to make millions, not thousands. Hasbro does not want to sit on them until they go on clearance. Again, like the TIE Fighter. Hell, like the Ram Cycles went on clearance, you can get those Tiger Force Dukes, if you wait long enough, you'll find them. People don't want to spend $45 on Snake Eyes and Timber. I guess after we see the Flight Pod, the Trouble Bubble, how is that going to do? Anthony says, white bald head, look who's talking, fake half Mexican. I'm only 25% Mexican, motherfucker. And 25% Italian. But you know what? I live by Canada. All right? We don't bring drugs over our border. We're not trying to build a wall here because we have a big river that you can't get across. Alex Martinez says, I still want a Cobra Claw. I think a Cobra Claw is perfect. That is the perfect thing for that is the perfect thing, in my opinion, for retail, for Target, for Walmart and for the online exclusives, or BBTS, EE, different things like that. Matthew says, if Ella does the vamp first, it will kill Hasbro vamp market. I agree, and I kind of think they already have it. As much as I sit here and say that I don't, I think it's going to sit there and they go on clearance. I think they have one already ready to go. They have to have something to go against that HISS tank. I know that they that's what the Dragonfly is, but that Dragonfly isn't coming for a year and a half. That HISS is going to be here. I'm actually with you. And again, the Vamp makes the most sense because it can be utilized for the Vamp Mark II, and it can be utilized for the Stinger. And then again, like if you want to do the Dreadnought version, you can do that as an exclusive. Perfect exclusive, not something you have to have in your collection, right? They have a soccer mom SUV with guns. The truth is, it looks good. I mean, in all honesty, it looks good. I mean, if it's going to be 175 to 200, I still think it's going to be closer to 200. You're going to get you're getting a basic figure. Again, understand, another repainted figure. I only say that because I want people to understand when they bash on other companies for doing repaints. The people that are total valid shows, like they're just constantly buying the exact same figure over and over and over and over and over. Just as long as you know that. As long as and you know what? I'll say it again. If I was Bobby, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be pushing out the same figures over and over and over, but the same vests over and over and over. I made them so you can modify and put different pouches on them, but they're all the same. Listen, I'm just glad that with Bobby's thing coming out, and if Hasbro has something coming out, people will stop talking about that stupid fucking Bratz car. I hate that goddamn Bratz car. I'm so sick and tired of the Bratz car. It is stupid. GI Joe would not be driving in a stupid Bratz car. End of story. Right, buddy? Roman wouldn't even ride in that. He'd be like, that thing is stupid. I'm not riding in it. But it's an American car, so I'll give him that at least. Hey, that Valve vehicle fits 10. Of course, 5 have to hang on for dear life. Well, you don't always have to tell everything, Imagine when they were buying station wagons and they're like, oh, yeah, sure, it fits 10 people, but 5 of your kids have to sit in the back and you have to pray you don't get an accident. Oh, man. Yep, Covert Condor is Sarge's vest and chest. Justice Arms, Desert Rat. Hey, listen, I've said it numerous times. Oh, speaking of, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get something because I need to amend something that I had said. So hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, so in my review, I mentioned how that this leg here doesn't have the boot cut, and which poses the same problem as the Valivers. I know people argue with me. Without the boot cut, you cannot get it in certain poses. It only goes in like this. It moves around. I like the way it looks. It causes issues when trying to pose. I know a lot of you can't pose your stuff. I'm not saying you guys. Other people watching on the replay that I'm offended. I said the same thing about this, and someone pointed out it's not true. The boot cut is actually underneath. So it also moves up and down here, but this does swivel back and forth. So the boot cut is actually underneath here. So just imagine if the boot cut was here, now it's just underneath here. So I was wrong. I'm okay to admit when I was wrong. There was something that I wanted to point out. So if you are wondering about Shipwreck here, he technically does have a boot cut. It's just underneath where the boot would be underneath the pant. So I actually like it a little bit more, even though it's still Shipwreck. And Shipwreck is stupid. Although I think the Shipwreck is actually pretty damn good. I do want to see what everyone is saying here. Let's see here. I have a feeling there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't really collect too much Action Force. You know, listen, they make good figures. Some of the figures are excellent. The issue is that it grew stale to me because it's the same mold. There's $3.50 right now until he comes out with new ones. So for 2.5 years, you get the same figures. New face sculpts. The vests are all the same. It's just, I don't know. To me, I mean, I understand what he's doing, and he is putting money back into his line. He lowered the price. He's doing wonderful things. Ray says, I'm still buying the Vela card, though I like it. It needs to come with some black, come in black with that Armor green camel preferred. Yeah, I mean, again, like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna listen. I think the vehicle looks really nice. I'm not going to put it down at all. I just have no connection to it. So to me, it's kind of like the Cobra Coil. I have no connection to it. So why would I want to spend that much money on it? So I guess I kind of stand with a lot of people that, you know, hey, if they made new GI Joe vehicles, would you be willing to buy it? I guess it depends on how it looks. If you made a Humvee that was GI Joeized, yeah, I could see that. But then I'd be like, why don't you just make a Vamp? Because I have a connection to that. And the Vamp, I think, is universal enough. It can be modified enough to do a 4-seater if you really wanted to, and still call it a Vamp. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. No, it is 3.5. I've gone through them. There are $3.50. There were, I forget what they are. The upper bodies, I think there's like 3 upper bodies, I think 4 different sets of arms and 3 different sets of legs. Something like that, maybe 4. It's just, again, I understand what he's doing, but it also bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me so much. It just bothers me that people act like they don't fucking, like, oh my God, this is such an original line. It's not. I mean, literally, the name is taken. Steel Brigade, everything. It's just like, but nothing is original now. It's just that you have certain YouTubers that want to scream that this most original line is the only original line that's going on right now. It's the unicorn of toys right now. Now, if that's not top shelf, if that's not asking for your Grey Poupon, I don't know what is. All right? The unicorn of fucking toys. Unicorn my fucking ass. Oh my God. I've had a headache, I think, since I started. I don't know why. Here we are, 3 hours. Listen, guys, I wasn't serious about going 4 hours just because I don't have to work tomorrow morning. Because then you guys want a 4-hour stream every single night. I can't do that. No, every single Monday. I don't even think you guys could take me every single night. I do have to say, 51 people still watching. Thank you very much. Absolutely crazy. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Let's quickly, all the people that weren't here at the beginning, let's talk about the giveaway next week. So this is what we're going to be giving away. Thank you to Digital Diarrhea and Hella Dope Toys. All right. So tomorrow morning, which I still got to finish that too. I'm going to like 3 in the morning. Tomorrow morning, you're dropping a video. All you got to do is put your name in the comments, right? For this, live in the lower 48, all right? You cannot ship out of the country. It's just too expensive. And this guy is a big, beefy guy. And be present next week on Monday night, somewhere between 10:30 and 11. That's when I'll do the giveaway. I want people to come in and stay for a while. Maybe you'll enjoy me. And then the other thing that I mentioned is if you are a channel member, your name automatically gets thrown in. As long as you live in the U.S., your name automatically gets thrown in. So if you put your name in again, then you have 2 chances. But you have to be present. I'm not going to lie. As much as I want to have everyone here, it's kind of fun thinking about you spin this wheel. And if you've seen it before, you've seen the wheel of names before. You spin the wheel, and boom! If it lands on you and you're not there, I get to pull you out and throw it away. Shark Guys, I'm a valid contender for this giveaway with my Sarasota post. Yes, you are. Yes. Yep. 4 hours. Listen, if my head didn't hurt so bad, dude, I was on with Ostradamus for almost 5 hours. And then we talked for probably an hour after. Literally sat in this chair for like 6 hours. It was crazy. Till Cobweb and I were the whole time. Like Cobweb, I think Cobb is still here. And Thanos Copter, he finally bugged out, but he was there from the beginning. It was a long ass stream. But it's also easier when you have someone that you're kicking things off. And sometimes I talk way too much. That's the reason why I can do a whole live stream on my own for 3+ hours. Try drinking water instead of all that damn soda, brother. Okay, first off, it's not soda, it's pop. All right. And I do have water right here. See, I have water right here. All right. And all that does is make you want to piss more. But I see your point. I haven't even gone through a whole glass. So I'm drinking less and less. I think, maybe. Yeah, Lawrence and I talk for like an hour after our movie stream and 30 before. Yeah, easily. Yeah, it doesn't have like... It doesn't help that I decided that, hey, if we do that at 10 o'clock, it'll end at midnight. It'll end at midnight, and then I can get off, because then I don't end up getting off. You know what? I don't even have ice trays in my house. Believe it or not, I don't have ice trays. I mean, I have some, but I don't have the ice. It takes up too much space. I don't have a lot of space in my... I have one of those refrigerators with a built-in freezer and the built-in ice maker, but I don't have water. I don't have a pipe run to it, and I never ran it. But I can't remove that bucket. So it literally just takes up space, and I hate it. I wanted to remove the whole damn thing. But then that's just too much work for me to do. Is Faygo cola? No, Faygo is pop. It may be. Listen, I understand that people call it cola, but it is pop. All right. And Faygo is very. How many of you know how many of you know what Fago is? Like Fago, Bick, are you from Michigan? Fago, you must be from Michigan, right, Bick? Have we discussed this before? Verner's is a Michigan thing, and Fago is a Michigan thing. Jay, that's okay. You're wrong, and it's okay. We're allowed to be wrong at times. There's only a few states that call it pop. And to be honest, I think Ohio is one of them. Me personally, I think Ohio should be just nuked off the planet. We can, because we don't want to get rid of the 50th star, we can make Puerto Rico the 50th state. We get rid of Ohio, and we just drive straight through it. Like, of course, we do need the Jeep plant. We need to take the Jeep plant. I really don't want Toledo. I was in Toledo. Oh, man, what a shithole. I'm sorry. No, but I have. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Alex says, Punk, your thoughts if Hasbro were to make a polar battle bear snowmobile? Hold on. You mean this? The glue came undone. I told you I have too much 3D printed shit. Look how big the damn thing is. Look. So everyone wants these 3D printed stuff, right? For scale size, there's a Masterverse figure. They're huge. Yeah, so I gotta glue this on. So I haven't really done anything with it yet. But you get all this stuff. Thank you. Thank you from my boy Greg, he's my 3D print dealer. I think the polar bear, I think something like that is absolutely perfect for what Hasbro can do to put out in stores. But again, when it comes to snow stuff, again, living in Michigan, we have all the seasons. Matter of fact, sometimes we have all the seasons within a 24-hour period of time. And I'm not shitting you when I tell you that. I don't know how the snow stuff translates over into Arizona, Florida, Texas. When people kept saying that they want a snowcat for HasLab, I'm like, there's no way they're ever going to do that. Because how many people in the desert, yeah, maybe they like the snowcat as a kid, but are they really going to back it? You're never going to be able to take pictures of it outside, and do photography like that. But something like that, yeah, that's, hey, the Cobra night landing is that right there. You have a night landing and eel pack ready to go. I can see them doing that. That is something that, yes, I think should be done. Matt O'Brien, I'd back it and just build a snowpack. Man, we know you would. All right? You are crazy with the stuff you're buying. And I love it because, hey, without guys like you and me and Matthew and everyone, like, hey, you know what? We don't get all this stuff. All the stuff that we backed with GI Joe that we started picking up, even when it was futuristic, it's really what got us to this point. It's ahead of Palpatine, one of the channel members. Thank you very much. I love having Palpatine. He's on, I believe he is exactly 12 hours away. So, again, man, we've had people from all over the world today. I absolutely love that, man. I can't. I know I say it. I can't express enough how much I enjoy having all of you. Being a fine figure. Matthew, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember ever seeing being a fine figure in here. I think I remember that name too because it's such a very descriptive name. I'm not saying people from Arizona and Florida and Texas wouldn't back it, But you also have to think of the masses. Also, the snow. You know the thing with Snowcat that really bothers me? It has no guns. How's it supposed to do without any guns? It has 2 sled missiles. Good luck in the desert using the sled missiles. And then you have the 4 missiles on the top. But my question is, if they did do a HasLab, Snowcat, would the missile rack break as easy as the O-ring one? I do believe I have one that isn't broken, but not my original one. My original one had only one piece that held on, so it actually did work. Oh, they are torpedoes, snow torpedoes. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I can wait another year for another HasLab. The stuff that I'm not gonna lie, like it's forcing me to get out of other lines. I will still be picking up some Valiver stuff, and if my buddy still continues to buy Valiver stuff, he'll drop it off for me to review. But I'm pretty much out of that line. I'll just be nitpicking. You definitely won't see me getting full on to Mythic Legions ever or AWOC because there's just too much GI Joe stuff. I've even started to back out of a lot of the Motu stuff because now they're producing figures, a lot of figures that I have no connection to. So it doesn't really, I don't feel that I need all the stuff now. Where GI Joe, I absolutely love it. I love everything that came with that. So it's the end of the O-ring, as Hasbro indirectly confirmed. I talked about that. I didn't really talk about if it's the end. I don't think it's the end. I think what will eventually happen is that I do think that eventually what will happen is with the amount of money that they're bringing in, again, every brand is giving a budget. And if you exceed that budget, then I would assume that you're able to take that money and put it back into the company, or put it into the brand. So when you exceed the budget, you can put it back into the brand. And let's say it exceeds it again. Well, then you can put it back in. Now, if you start losing money, that's when your brand gets shut down or you have to, downsize. If I was the GI Joe team, I would fear putting money back in and saying, okay, now we have enough money in the budget to do O-ring. Then you find out, hey, it's not there. And Palpatine, I mentioned, if I look on Pulse, you find the crossover vehicles in the Transformers section, not the GI Joe section, which makes me think this is more of a Transformer thing than a GI Joe thing. Yeah, I'm on classified nitpick Transformers that look. Yeah, see, I like Transformers growing up, but I don't collect any. But yeah, that's kind of where you almost have to be, unless you just have bottomless pockets where you can just keep pulling out more and more money. I really wish I could. But yeah, it's yeah, I get it. I get everything classified. Enjoy O-ring, then dabble in Transformers and Power Rangers nostalgia. See, Power Rangers, I do remember Power Rangers. Obviously, I remember the Pink Power Ranger. I love the Pink Power Ranger. She's so hot. Amy Jo Johnson. The fact that I can remember that. I couldn't tell you any of the other ones, nor could I tell you her name in the show. Nothing. Turtles. I'm so glad I have no connection to the Turtles because, oh my God, there's so many Turtles. And Transformers. I think I've talked to, I think it's Matthew that I've talked to about, have you ever watched Tidarium Hanger? I think he does a really good job. He reports the news, and it's kind of funny that he's Tidarium Hanger. He's really heavy in Transformers, but I'll watch his weeklies or his dailies. I don't even know what he does. There's so much Transformer news, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so glad I don't. There's so many. Because they're not just owned by Hasbro. Because it's joint, they're joint owned. So there's so many different Transformers. Which is just killer. Like, oh my god, I don't know how you can do that. That's Hasbro's fault. They need a live action TV show. Man, I would love to address that one. I'm going to get back to that one. GI Joe is non-existent with kids with no new cartoons. Again, that goes to this right here. Yeah, there's so much that can be said about that. There really is. There's so much that can be said about that. The guy that's in charge of their media, Bonaventure, he has no business being anywhere near Transformers or GI Joe. Now, I do not think that you need someone like me who loves GI Joe. Matter of fact, I don't think you need someone like me that loves GI Joe to be in charge of media, because I don't do that. I would put out shit I want. But the Bonaventure, he doesn't look at the lore. I think you need someone that has to love the line and work, and work at being in charge of being the director of all the movies, TV shows. Again, it goes back to Emily. I know people hate Emily. She knows nothing about G.I. Joe. I'm sorry. She knew nothing about G.I. Joe. That woman has delved into the G.I. Joe lore, and she's learned more than half the Joe people that I see on Facebook. That's what someone needs to do when they get a job. You delve into the job and you learn it, right? You don't hire a G.I. Joe fan and say, hey, we're going to teach you marketing. No, it doesn't work that way. Because you know what? What happens if the marketing doesn't work? If you have a marketer, you teach them how to do G.I. Joe. If G.I. Joe doesn't work, okay, move to Transformers, move to Power Rangers. That's what people don't seem to understand. Or they just don't want to. I mean, so many people are so like, they just want to fight. They want to bang their head against the wall. But no, they need to get rid of Bonaventure. Articulated Chad has talked about it numerous times. You look at the whole Cobra Commander thing. You know what? We went to a topic about the hooded Cobra Commander. And I got a video up, and it's not my opinion. It's from an article. Bobby Valla has talked about the issue with hooded Cobra Commander and what was said. I was on a live stream and backstage. We were talking with someone that worked at Hasbro at the time that told the exact same story. And Bonaventure has also confirmed that he said that because of me, there is no hooded Cobra Commander. Yes, he looks too much like the Ku Klux Klan. He has said it. It's not like he's like hiding from it. So when people want to argue and they go, oh no, we're getting a hooded Cobra Commander, they're not just going to give it to you. It's going to be something special. Yeah, he's not banned. It's not like, Hasbro can't ban themselves. They can do whatever they want. But Bonaventure has already said no. And I don't know why they care so much about this guy. Maybe he has pictures, like Kathleen Kennedy has pictures of every person that's ever worked for Disney. All right? Because that woman should not be anywhere near Star Wars anymore. If she hasn't proved that she completely has destroyed it and doesn't care about the lore, then I don't know what else to say. The Bonaventure is the same way. The G.I. Joe, like, we've talked about it before. We did I did a topic on it, like the media that you could do. I think you need to have a kids media, like you have Teen Titans Go. That would be awesome. Literally, Yo Joe. It's the name's already there. And then you have like Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Duke, Roadblock, as like the core characters, and they're like kiddish. And then you have like a kiddish Cobra Commander and Destro, and sometimes they're like kind of working together, but it's like, I know people laugh, but it's like that's how you bring kids into things. And then you're part of Paramount. Like, if you put out a good TV series, and I think GI Joe would work better on a TV series over a movie, because there are so many different stories with so many different characters that doing TV series, not just one, but doing multiple TV series, you can really delve into things. There are so many people, movie stars, that talk about how they love doing like Netflix shows and stuff like that are serialized, because it's like I can explore a character so much better than in a movie where you have 2 hours to do it. You know, G.I. Joe, there's too much to do. There's too much to get into. You cannot explain the relationship between Snake Eyes, Stalker, and Storm Shadow in one movie and still have other things going. But you could have a series of these veterans that, of course, now would be in, modern day. So it'd be something, over in the Gulf, right? Something in one of, in Iraq or whatever, where you can have Tommy and Snake Eyes and Stalker in a unit, that they lose their unit. Like, there's so much things that you can do. But I don't think you can do it all in one movie. And you sure the hell can't do that Snake Eyes movie and make Snake Eyes the asshole. And people go, I really like Storm Shadow. But they've had 2 actors that played Storm Shadow, and both were really good. I mean, and Snake Eyes, I'm not supposed to see his face. So, Ray Park, you can play Snake Eyes till you can no longer move. And last time I checked, you're still in pretty damn good shape. So, I'm fine with that. Oh, Ray Pat. But Kathleen Kennedy, was supposed to be fired about a year ago, according to that clickbait YouTuber. Oh, it's been over a year, man. A matter of fact, I bet if we went and looked right now, it would say something like Kathleen Kennedy out, George Lucas back in. Oh my God. Whew. Last 3.5 hours, guys. Actually, over 3.5 hours I've given you of my Monday night. And can I tell you something? Some of you have stuck around throughout the whole time, which is awesome. I've seen a lot of the regulars that were in at the beginning. I'll tell you what, because I watched, even though I'm not able to read all the comments, I can tell you that there are certain regulars at the beginning, and then there are certain regulars at the end, and then there are certain ones that are here throughout the whole time. I appreciate all of you. But I got to say, it's awesome to see so many different diverse people. And I wish I could talk to all of you individually. I think one of the things, I know I'm going off on a tangent. I feel like I need to just talk. I feel like I have to give you guys something. I don't have to give you guys anything. You're paying for something. I think one of the things that is making this show and my channel very successful, other than just obviously you guys, is that it's not all content creators that are here. And again, I love having the content creators that do come in here. But I've seen a lot of other channels that it's just content creators interacting with each other. But when I see the people who are constantly in here, and I know a lot of you guys have smaller channels or whatever, but a lot of you guys are just, that's your name, that's your YouTube name. You're not doing content all the time. And to me, I think that is really where the show shows a lot of growth, is that you have all these non-content creators that just want to come in here. Yes, we even have decent customizers. The average customizer and the decent. I agree. Thank you, Matt. I'm glad you see it too. But yeah, it's I think that's where I'm seeing a lot of the growth, and I love it. or until I pass out. Shark Guy says, real talk, this show is a highlight of my Tuesdays. I can't believe you say Tuesdays and it's Monday night. But I understand that you are in Australia. Listen, I'm glad that you guys want to spend 3.5 hours with me. And then I can just sit here and just chat away. I know Tony's probably running out, saving people's lives while I'm making fun of his averageness in his customizing. If Tony, are you here? Tony's not here. Honestly, he does a really good job. Just don't tell him I said that. I like that. We in the future over here. So you're future Dwight, all right? You guys ever see The Office? We're you guys have watched The Office. I love The Office. I watched it from day one. I don't know what I just loved it. But when what's his face? Jim goes to is it New York? The New York branch, and he's faxing Dwight from future Dwight over things that are gonna happen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, it is Tuesday now. We are 37 minutes into Tuesday. Viper Scott, honestly, the interaction in the chat and the fact that you read regular non-super chats is the reason I'm here. I'm sure that's not sustainable. One should consistently get over 100 viewers per stream. Viper Scout, let me tell you something. I'm glad that you said that. And it is, listen, if you go back and watch some of the early ones, if you do that, God bless you. It was easy to read almost all the chats, right? As it started to get bigger. And one of the things that Matthew, and again, Matthew was not the moderator from the beginning. I made him the moderator shortly after, and he gave me a lot of tips. And one of the things that he said was, you need not a script, but you need an outline, and you need to follow your notes. Don't look at the chat like the whole time because you'll get distracted. And I did that a few times early on when we started getting bigger, and you start reading chats, and again, I'm going to ramble a lot. I'm all over the place, all right? I see a fucking squirrel. I'm like, squirrel. But you do have to follow things. And I know a lot of people get mad. They like the smaller streams because everyone's, like, you can interact with everyone. But at the same time, I want growth. And I look at this as a business. I don't own a business, but I look at this as a business model. And you have to look at things as a business, not be worried to hurt someone's feeling as long as yes, that's oh my God. I'm just thinking about Michael Scott walking in going, I declare bankruptcy. All right. But yeah, you're right. And I've seen people get mad that there are YouTubers that only answer or mostly only answer super chats. And super chats are wonderful. Believe me, they're wonderful. They help sustain the channel. And as I started to grow and you get 30 or 40 people, let alone 46 that are still here over 3.5 hours later, we hit 70. We hit 100 once when we did the Vala shows versus Hasbro's. We hit 100. I don't know where those extra 30 people went. But as it started to grow, I started to understand why the bigger channels tend to, I mean, they'll always answer the super chats. It's because someone is sending you money to basically to say, hey, you know what? Thank you. We love what you do. You know, we know you can't do this consistently without, financial support. So I understand why so many people will only read super chats because you're getting so many comments. And you've probably watched me before. I know I mentioned this before. I'll go and try and read a comment, and then I realize, oh shit, that comment is in reference to something else that someone said. So then I go up and then I try and find out what they were saying. Well, next thing you know, you've turned your head away from here. You're trying to read what's going on over here. And really, it's a conversation between 2 or 3 or maybe 4 people, right? So I understand the super chat thing. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, hey, you know what? I understand that when you start growing. But I'm definitely going to do my best to constantly keep people involved. Because, listen, I don't know why you guys want to hear me for as long as I am. I don't, but I appreciate it. And I say that a lot. And I love it because I'm talking toys. I'm talking shit that I love. All right. And I could do it all day. Just like if you wanted to, listen, I have ideas for other channels, but everything takes up time. And if someone sat there and they said, hey, you know what? We need you to host a skateboard channel, I could sit there for 10 hours and probably never take a breath and talk skateboarding. From old school shit to new school stuff, stuff that I like, what I hate about certain things. I'm very opinionated, all right? And I don't shy away from my opinion. So, and again, I kind of have an idea why people do enjoy hearing me. Again, I don't try and be that guy like, I don't know why. Like, I'm not. When people used to ask me, were you good at skateboarding? And I would say, I was at the bottom of the top. So, like, in my thing, in my range, yeah, I was I was at the bottom of the good skateboarders. I'm gonna say I don't remember ever seeing your name, Ionic Blood at 666. Do a kickflip. I won't be doing one right now. But can I do a kickflip? Yes. Hell, I'm actually looking at a picture. I actually have a picture of me doing a kickflip at age 13. It was right after my mom died, and I know because it's the board that I got the day my mom died. In this ugly yellow jacket. So this is 89. And I had taken a still shot. I paused a video of me doing a kickflip a few years ago. And it was crazy to look at because you're talking 30 years apart. And the poses is the exact same. The way my arm is set, the way my knees look, it looks so similar. It's absolutely crazy. So, that was a whole rant about the super chats. And then Ionic Blood brought up do a kickflip. Can I ollie in front of ollies? Let me tell you about ollieing. My brain says I can do it easily. My legs say that I can, but when I step on that board, there are days that my body's like, yeah, good luck. Can I still do a kickflip is the question. Yes. I don't know about you guys, but when I hit the ground, it's not as easy to get up. No. Oh God. So what's actually kind of funny is, so what I actually find in the past 2 years is when I really noticed it, or going last summer, I really started to slow down. My body started to really start to hurt. And I realized I don't want to fall. And that sounds crazy because I tell everyone when they say, I don't want to fall, I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm like, listen, if you want to fall skateboarding, you are on the wrong thing. It's like saying, I want to play football, but I don't want to get hit. You're going to get hit. And at 47, I know that eventually something bad will happen skateboarding. So I find myself not. And again, as heavy as I am these days, it makes it difficult. So, but can I still kickflip? I've done kickflips and I've done a kickflip and I've done heel flip this year so far. Every year I try and hit my kickflip, heel flip, and 360 flip. I'll do a pressure flip. I hate pressure flips. They're ugly. They're stupid, but they're so easy. But I have done a kickflip and a heel flip. I haven't skated very much this year. God, I probably skated 10 to 12 times this year. But I'll get in. I'll do a 360 flip at age 47. Usually I do it right away so I can get it out of the way and not have to worry about it. But yes, the pavements, yeah. So like riding a skateboard, oh man, I don't understand how people can't ride a skateboard. But that's just, I've done it for so long. To me, it's second nature. But there are people that play hockey that go, I don't understand how people can't ice skate. You know, it's, you know, to me, it's an extension of me. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I don't skate for a few months and I jump on it, yeah, I'm like I can definitely feel how I don't feel comfortable. But my not feeling comfortable on a skateboard compared to other people is night and day. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm scared to even look and see how bad I am. But let's just say I figured out a few years ago that handrails, they're actually used to get downstairs. They're not used to skateboard, believe it or not. That's not what they're meant for. So anyway, I think it's time to wrap it up. I've given you guys almost 4 hours. Ray Paz, I think that was you that said 4 hours. Here we're sitting at 3 hours and 47 minutes. And the last hour has been rambling on about pretty much nothing. Ray says, I'm currently on a serious diet. Blood pressure and cholesterol is high. I'm doing pretty well now that I'm being serious about my diet. Listen, I've worked out. I understand working out. Diet, I don't understand. I mean, I understand it. I just don't like it. I understand it. I just don't want it. And look, Travis is back. I just wanted to go an hour more than you. Just want to go an hour more than my show because I don't have to work tomorrow. So I just started rambling on. And you missed. Listen, you need to watch it because you'll see some stuff just for you, Travis. I did stuff just for you. Anyway, let's wrap it up. 3 hours and 48 minutes, all by myself. I mean, I'm not by myself. I'm with you guys. And yes, happy 4th to everyone. Happy 4th to everyone. You guys got to do your fireworks. Didn't get to see anything, but neither did I. I got to hear it. In the end, I didn't even notice, except for Matthew sends me a sends me a message going, "What is that banging? It's so loud." Anyway, everyone have a wonderful 4th of July. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. And again, be on the lookout for this video. It'll be dropping. We're supposed to drop tomorrow at 7, but again, I haven't finished everything. I still got to go in and change something. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. I really do mean it. Good night. Thank you, guys. Super chats. Thank you very much. It is really appreciated. I think everyone that gave a super chat early on is long gone. No, wait. No. I know one guy is still here. I can't remember who else gave it. Anyway, this is why I keep going, because I don't shut up. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. I am actually out of here.